Chapter 45-40. The two men, who were originally unparalleled, lost all their momentum the moment they saw the Crown Prince. The two men and the two fire apes couldn't help but retreat. Their widened eyes were filled with endless fear. Impossible. This is impossible. How did you recover your cultivation? Lin Yong's face was filled with shock. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. You were poisoned by the darkness insect poison. It's impossible to cure it. How did you recover your cultivation? Lin Chong's pupils contracted. The fear in his eyes was magnified. They had been assigned to the Crown Prince's side for a long time, so they knew the Crown Prince too well. They knew better than anyone how powerful the Crown Prince was at his peak. The title of the #1 genius of the Kingdom of Lin wasn't as simple as it sounded. To put it bluntly, 3 years ago, the Crown Prince of the Fourth Heaven of Star-Lord would have been able to kill the two of them as easily as crushing 2 ants. Moreover, not only had his cultivation completely recovered, but it had also improved, reaching the terrifying 5th heaven of Star-Lord. I've let you down. The darkness insect poison has been cured. Now it's time for you to die. The Crown Prince's aura was overwhelming. His eyes were extremely cold. In his eyes, Lin Yong and Lin Chong were already dead men. There was no way he would spare them. Let's go. Lin Yong growled. Without hesitation, he turned around and ran with Lin Chong. They were all intelligent people who could see reality very clearly. No matter how unwilling they were in their hearts, no matter how much they wanted to kill the Crown Prince and go back to claim credit, the situation was already hopeless. If they fled now, they might be able to keep their lives. If they waited any longer, they would lose their lives here. Whoosh! Shadows flickered. Almost as soon as Lin Yong and Lin Chong turned around and tried to escape, the Crown Prince's figure appeared behind them, blocking their way. The two men's hearts sank. Fast, it was simply too fast. The Crown Prince, who was a 5th heaven Star-Lord, wasn't someone they could fight. Their faces were pale. They already understood that with their current strength, they couldn't even escape from the Crown Prince. Killing you is as easy as pinching 2 ants to death. Do you think that 2 ants can escape from me? The Crown Prince sneered. He suddenly waved his hand, conjuring 2 giant red flaming hands that covered the sky and the earth. They instantly trapped the 2 fire apes like a cage. Howl! The 2 fire apes let out miserable cries as their mountain-like bodies shattered with a bang. After which, they turned into nothingness and completely disappeared within the fiery domain. Killing 2 third firmament Star-Lords with a wave of his hand was as easy as killing chickens. The 2 fire apes could not even put up any resistance. This was the power of a Star-Lord at the 5th heaven, the power of the top genius of the Kingdom of Lin. With the Crown Prince's current state, even a Star-Lord at the 6th heaven would be useless. At the side, Jiang Chen nodded to himself. The Crown Prince was indeed a talent that could be molded. The crisis of the human race could not be avoided without him. Lin Yong and Lin Chong's expressions became extremely grim. They could smell the scent of death coming from the Crown Prince. Your Highness, don't kill us. We know we were wrong. We can betray the Empress and truly rely on you. We can work for you in the future. Lin Yong begged for mercy. Your Highness, since we've been at your beck and call all these years, please spare our lives. We're willing to work for you in the future. Lin Chong also hurriedly begged for mercy. No one could remain calm in the face of death. No one wanted to die. The better one lived, the less they wanted to die. It had not been easy for Lin Yong and Lin Chong to cultivate to the level of Star-Lord. They had gone through countless trials and tribulations. They had a bright future ahead of them and endless cultivation time. If they died, everything would be for naught. Work for me? Ha ha ha, I don't need the winged people's work. The Crown Prince laughed loudly. Then, he turned into a blur and grabbed the necks of Lin Yong and Lin Chong with his hands covered in boundless flames. Crack! Without any mercy, the Crown Prince exerted force and broke the necks of the 2. Then their heads exploded. They died a horrible death. There was no reason to negotiate with the winged people. They were dead. Moreover, even if they were real humans and not winged people, the Crown Prince would not have any reason to spare them. The Crown Prince knew very well how Lin Yong and Lin Chong had treated him. If he had not met Jiang Chen today, he would have died in the colored glass sea. At that time, the Crown Prince did not expect Lin Yong and Lin Chong to show him mercy. If he died, he would truly die with a grievance. He had been kept in the dark about the goo poison. He would not even know the secret of the fake Empress. Teacher, what should we do next? The Crown Prince asked respectfully as he walked up to Jiang Chen and withdrew his godlike presence. First cultivate in the glass sea, and try to increase your cultivation. Your present strength is not ordinary, but it is not enough to control the situation. Also, I have a 1-month agreement with Zhu Chongqing of Vermilion Bird Camp. There is not much time left. There's not much time left, Jiang Chen said. That's right. Zhu Chongqing is at the peak of the first heaven of Star-Lord. He might even reach the second heaven of Star-Lord in a month. He's not easy to deal with. Teacher, there's a huge gap between you and Zhu Chongqing. Mu Yibai frowned. That's not a problem. I can cancel the battle agreement. I have a lot of power in the Vermilion Bird Camp. The Vermilion Bird Camp is the army of the royal family, and I have always been in charge of it. However, Mother, no, that fake empress has been telling me what to do behind my back. I've always listened to her, which has made her reputation in the Vermilion Bird Camp very high, the Crown Prince said. No, the battle agreement cannot be cancelled. No, you can't cancel the battle agreement. I was the one who proposed it, so there's no need to cancel it. The Vermilion Bird Camp has definitely been infiltrated by the fake empress. My battle with Zhu Chongqing will draw attention to me. Since the Crown Prince is in charge of the Vermilion Bird Camp, that's for the best. Now that you know the secret of the fake empress, you can secretly reorganize the Vermilion Bird Camp and take control of the Vermilion Bird Camp. Once the secret is revealed and we start a war with the winged race and the elves, the Vermilion Bird Camp will be a sharp sword. Jiang Chen said. It was for the best if the Crown Prince was in charge of the Vermilion Bird Camp. The Crown Prince would probably have a lot of things to do after he returned. However, with Teacher's current strength, it will be dangerous to fight Zhu Chongqing. Chapter 45-41. I have my own plans. Time is of the essence, so I plan to travel alone. Let's part ways here. Jiang Chen said. The Crown Prince's matter had been dealt with, so the remaining time was up to him. Jiang Chen needed to raise his cultivation to the peak of the 7th heavenly layer before he could fight Zhu Chongqing. There were less than 20 days left, so it was indeed extremely urgent. Jiang Chen liked to travel alone, especially when he was training. He would always feel restricted if someone followed him. No, that's too dangerous. The Crown Prince and Mu Yibai said almost at the same time. This was the Lapis Glass Sea, a place filled with danger. Even Star-Lords would find it difficult to travel safely, let alone Jiang Chen, who was only at the 5th heavenly layer. Wasn't this a joke? That's it. With that, Jiang Chen's figure disappeared with a sway, turning into a wisp of flame that disappeared into the fire realm, completely ignoring the objections of the Crown Prince and Mu Yibai. Master. Mu Yibai wanted to stop him, but Long San stopped him. Don't worry. First Miss and Your Highness. You don't understand little Chenzi. No one can stop him from doing what he wants to do. Moreover, a mere lapis glass sea is still far from being able to take little Chenzi's life. Long San said with a relaxed expression. He was not worried for Jiang Chen at all. Long San understood Jiang Chen far too well. Since he wanted to travel alone, he definitely felt that others would be a hindrance. There's no need to worry, Your Highness. Although Master's cultivation is a little weak, he's extremely capable and can deal with most difficulties. Moreover, I have a bold guess that Master might be the reincarnation of a great expert. Mu Yibai said in an extremely serious tone. Yibai, it's not just you. I also have the same thought. Only a true reincarnation of a great expert can possess such miraculous abilities. The Crown Prince said. When Long San saw the two of them guessing seriously, he tried hard not to laugh out loud. However, it was undeniable that even a true powerhouse might not be much better than Jiang Chen in terms of cultivation. In terms of attainments in cultivation, even a powerhouse would have to call Jiang Chen teacher. 10,000 miles away, the fire demons were wreaking havoc. A dragon-like silhouette moved freely among the fire demons. Resplendent sword light shot out everywhere. Everywhere it passed, there would be a fire demon that was sliced in half. The demon spirits of the fire demons danced in the air and were caught by that silhouette before being devoured. This figure was none other than Jiang Chen. It had been 10 days since he parted ways with Mu Yibai and the rest. During these 10 days, Jiang Chen had purposely chosen places with the highest number of fire demons and slaughtered his way through. He had lost count of how many fire demons he had killed and how many demon spirits he had devoured. If he encountered a Star-Lord level fire demon, Jiang Chen would use the Great Void technique to flee. During these 10 days, Jiang Chen's cultivation had reached the 6th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. It had stabilized at this level and was heading towards the peak of the 6th heavenly layer. Asterisk roar. Asterisk roars filled the air. Jiang Chen had completely fallen into the swarm of fire demons. Powerful fire demons were everywhere, covering the sky and covering the earth. Jiang Chen had transformed into a fire dragon. His 300-meter-long body was even more powerful than the fire demons. He rampaged through the swarm of fire demons, sweeping through everything in his path. In an environment like the Glass Sea, Jiang Chen of the 6th heavenly layer was completely invincible against anyone below the Star-Lord realm. Even ordinary 1st heavenly layer Star-Lords would find it extremely difficult to kill him. Although there were many fire demons, numbers meant nothing to Jiang Chen. It was like an elephant against an ant. There was no difference between one ant and 10,000 ants before an elephant. No matter how many ants there were, they would not be enough for the elephant to trample on. Jiang Chen killed another 100 fire demons and devoured their demon spirits. His cultivation had reached the peak of the 6th heavenly layer, only a step away from the 7th heavenly layer. However, devouring demonic spirits was no longer useful to Jiang Chen. It was no longer realistic to rely on devouring the demonic spirits of the fire demons to reach the 7th heavenly layer. There's no point in continuing like this. Counting the days, the battle with Zhu Chongqing will be in 7 days. I need to reach the peak of the 7th heavenly layer of heavenly source to have a chance against him. Jiang Chen frowned. There's no point in fighting these fire demons. Demon spirits have already reached their limit. I need to find another way. Reaching the 7th heavenly layer in 7 days was undoubtedly as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Even for a monster like Jiang Chen, it was not an easy task. After all, Jiang Chen's cultivation had risen far too quickly in the Glass Sea. There was a limit to everything, and Jiang Chen was currently at it. Relying on demon spirits was no longer feasible. Without any other methods, reaching the 7th heavenly layer in 7 days was basically a dream, let alone the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. If I can obtain the colored glass divine flame and fuse it into the azure lotus starfire, reaching the peak of the 7th heavenly layer of heavenly origin will be a piece of cake. Jiang Chen thought of the colored glass divine fire. He had heard from Mu Yibai that the origin of the colored glass ocean was the fire seed of the colored glass divine fire. This was not a baseless statement. Jiang Chen was almost certain that the fire seed of the colored glass divine fire existed. Asterisk roar. Asterisk a wave of fire devils surged in front of him. An incomparably powerful chi suddenly spread out. Jiang Chen's facial expression changed. There were at least a dozen Star-Lord level fire devils in front of him. These fire devils had already locked onto him. Obviously, Jiang Chen's rampage had attracted the attention of these fire devil kings. The infuriated fire devil kings were afraid that they would tear him apart. Jiang Chen's figure flickered as he prepared to rely on his wondrous movement technique and unparalleled speed to escape. He did not want to fight the powerful Star-Lord fire demons. Jiang Chen was not afraid of fighting them. In such an environment, it would not be easy for an ordinary Star-Lord Fire Demon King to kill him. Moreover, there were quite a few Star-Lord level monsters like the Black King in Jiang Chen's Dragon Palace. He could summon them to fight at any time. However, Jiang Chen did not want to waste time. Time was far too precious to him right now. Instead of wasting time here, it was better for him to find other methods to increase his cultivation. Rumble. Just as Jiang Chen was about to leave, a rumble suddenly rang out from the depths of the tide of fire demons. Soon after, Jiang Chen saw a flaming door. The door seemed to have appeared out of nowhere, without any prior signs. Chapter 45-42. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk the rumbling became even louder, and the flaming gate turned from illusory to solid, turning into a real gate. The fire door of the void. The glass sea itself is an alternate space, and now there's a fire door of the void in the alternate space. I wonder where the overlapping spaces lead to. Jiang Chen's interest was immediately piqued when he looked at the flaming door. At the same time, the azure lotus flame in Jiang Chen's body became agitated. Jiang Chen couldn't help but be surprised. The azure lotus flame was a new flame that he had condensed from several other divine flames. It could be said to be the best of the best. It was the ancestor of all flames, a true king. There was only one possibility for the azure lotus flame to become agitated, and that was the appearance of a powerful divine flame. The azure lotus flame wouldn't be interested in ordinary flames. I found it. It's the glass divine flame. It must be the glass divine flame. No wonder Mu Bai said that countless experts have come to the glass sea to no avail. It turns out that the glass divine flame is hidden in the overlapping spaces. How could it be found under such circumstances? I've stumbled upon the opening of the spatial door by accident. It's really my fortune. If I miss such an opportunity, the heavens will not forgive me. It had been a long time since Jiang Chen had been so excited. After coming to the eternal world, this was the second thing that excited him besides the stairway to heaven. Roar. The fire demon kings also sensed the existence of the glass divine flame. As if they were summoned by a god, they all madly charged at the fiery door. Jiang Chen didn't waste any time. He charged forward at full speed. Now wasn't the time to retreat. Even though there were countless fire demon kings in front of him, Jiang Chen still took half a step back. This was his last chance in the glass sea. Obtaining the glass divine flame and fusing it with the azure lotus flame would bring unimaginable benefits to Jiang Chen. The heavenly source fire demons couldn't stop Jiang Chen at all. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Chen arrived before the fiery door. Roar. On the other side of the door, a first heavenly layer Star-Lord Fire Demon King opened its mouth and bit at Jiang Chen. It clearly didn't want Jiang Chen to enter. Black King. Jiang Chen shouted coldly. In order to obtain the colored glass divine flame, he had to rush in. He didn't have time to tangle with the Fire Devil King. Boom! A black fist the size of a small mountain shot out from the void and fiercely smashed on the fire demon's head. The fire demon let out a miserable howl as its head was smashed and it died on the spot. Jiang Chen grabbed the demon spirit in his hand. A Star-Lord level fire demon spirit was a priceless treasure. It would be a waste if he didn't take it. After killing a fire demon, Jiang Chen stepped forward and entered the overlapping space. The scene in the space appeared before Jiang Chen's eyes. This was a very small overlapping space, only about a dozen miles in radius, and one could see the end of it with a single glance. There was nothing in the overlapping space except for a single flower floating in the very center. It was a flower made of glass, resplendent and transparent, and surrounded by roiling flames. It's the glass divine fire. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. He didn't hide his desire for the glass divine fire at all. The legendary colored glass divine flame really did exist. This million-mile-wide colored glass sea existed because of the existence of the colored glass flower in the small overlapping space. More than a dozen fire demon kings surrounded the colored glass divine fire. They dragged their mountain-like bodies and knelt before the colored glass divine fire like devout believers. Black King, summon all the Star Lords and stall these fire demon kings for me. I'm going to get the glass divine fire. Jiang Chen ordered. Yes, Master. The Black King obeyed Jiang Chen's orders. With a summon, a dozen Star Lords rushed out of the Dragon Palace and charged at the Fire Demon Kings kneeling before the glass divine fire. These Fire Demon Kings were nothing to Jiang Chen. The most powerful one among them was only a second heavenly layer Star Lord, and there was only one of them. The Black King was enough to deal with them. As for the other Fire Devil Kings, their numbers were almost the same as his Star Lord's demonic beasts. Although they had the advantage of the environment, it wouldn't be a problem for his subordinates to tangle with them for a while. Jiang Chen's purpose was to obtain the colored glass divine fire, not to kill these Fire Devil Kings. Roar. Seeing the foreign invasion, the Fire Demon Kings were enraged. They got up angrily and started fighting with the beasts. Grumble. This was a chaotic battle between Star Lords, and it was simply too spectacular. The battle had already reached its climax. Violent combat power and murderous intent filled the overlapping space, and the aftermath of the battle was everywhere. If it was an ordinary heavenly source cultivator, the aftermath of the battle alone would be enough to tear them to pieces. Only someone as unpredictable as Jiang Chen could survive such a battle and come and go as he pleased. After entangling all the Fire Devil Kings, Jiang Chen became a river dragon that fishes in troubled waters, easily approaching the colored glass divine flame. Without hesitation, Jiang Chen made a grabbing motion and enveloped the glass divine fire. Buzz. The glass divine fire emitted endless flames, each of which was like a sharp sword, enough to cut a mountain into pieces. The glass divine fire had existed for countless years and had long developed intelligence. It was extremely difficult for ordinary people to get the glass divine fire and make it submit. Just like now, When Jiang Chen wanted to get the glass divine fire, he was resisted by the divine fire. I am the ancestor of all flames. How can you resist? Submit to me. Jiang Chen was incomparably domineering, and his king's position rippled. A flame dragon appeared in his palm, and the green lotus starfire spurted out like a tide. The glass divine fire immediately trembled violently, and it began to submit. The glass divine fire was indeed a divine fire, an extremely noble existence among flames. Otherwise, it would not have formed a large glass sea. However, compared to the green lotus starfire, the glass divine fire could only lower its head. Not to mention the fused azure lotus spark, just the karmic fire of the red lotus and the fire of thunder were not inferior to the colored glass divine flame. Now that the azure lotus spark was superior, the colored glass divine flame had no choice but to submit. Roar. When the fire demon kings saw Jiang Chen attacking the glass divine fire, they roared and wanted to rush over to stop it. Unfortunately, they were entangled by the Black King and couldn't get away at all. The demonic beasts in the Dragon Palace had helped Jiang Chen a lot at the crucial moment. Jiang Chen could deal with the glass divine fire in peace, and he didn't have to worry about the fire demon kings disturbing him. Crack. Not long after, cracks appeared on the colored glass divine flame. The will within the colored glass divine flame began to submit. The next moment, Jiang Chen flipped his palm, and the glass divine fire moved. The glass flower became the size of a rice grain, and Jiang Chen grabbed it in his hand. Fuse. Jiang Chen didn't hesitate at all. After getting the glass divine fire, he immediately fused the fire seed of the glass divine fire into the green lotus starfire. Chapter 45-43. Jiang Chen had too much experience in flame fusion. Even a high-level existence like the colored glass divine flame was vulnerable in front of Jiang Chen. Almost at the moment when Jiang Chen swallowed the colored glass divine flame, the colored glass divine flame had completely surrendered and lost all resistance. Roar. Seeing that the colored glass divine flame was taken away, the fire demons suddenly became extremely irritable. Each of them seemed to have gone mad as they fiercely attacked Jiang Chen. Stop them. Master is going to advance now. The Black King shouted. All the demonic beasts acted as if they didn't care about their lives. They used their own flesh and blood to fight against the fire demons so that they wouldn't disturb Jiang Chen. Moreover, after Jiang Chen swallowed the colored glass divine flame, the environment had already begun to change. The surrounding temperature began to gradually decrease, and the surrounding flames began to gradually decrease. It was like a river that had lost its source and no longer had any power to continue. Under such circumstances, the advantage that the fire demons had by relying on the environment became smaller and smaller. As a result, the advantage that they had when fighting against the demonic beasts in the Dragon Palace was about to disappear. The gap between them was also undergoing a certain reversal. At this moment, Jiang Chen completely ignored the battle here. He operated the clear green lotus flame and began to frantically merge with the colored glass divine flame. The merging of the divine flame required a certain process. In addition, Jiang Chen needed a certain period of seclusion in order to improve his cultivation. According to Jiang Chen's estimation, it would take at least 3 days. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen shook his head and looked up at the battle royale. At this time, he had no choice but to rely on the Dragon Palace. Black King, come back. Jiang Chen opened the door of the Dragon Palace. The Black King and the other demonic beasts abandoned their opponents and returned in a flash. Even Jiang Chen entered the Dragon Palace at this moment. The Dragon Palace itself turned into a speck of dust and floated in the depths of the void as if it didn't exist. The Buddha Prison Palace itself was a treasure left behind by Long Futu. Long Futu was a peerless almighty, and was at least a supreme expert at the Infinity King level. He was infinitely close to an eternal existence, which meant that the Buddha Prison Palace was destined to be of a higher level. The space power of this tiny alternate dimension was much weaker than the space power of the Buddha Prison Palace itself. To put it bluntly, Jiang Chen's Buddha Prison Palace and Stairway to Heaven were like two cheats. As long as he didn't run into an undefeatable existence, it would be harder to kill him than to ascend to the heaven. Just like now, Jiang Chen, He Wang and the others had suddenly disappeared without a trace, as if they had never appeared before. Those irritated fire devils were all dumbfounded. Roar. After a moment of confusion, the fire demon kings became irritable again. They swayed back and forth and searched everywhere, trying to find Jiang Chen and the aura of the glass divine flame. Unfortunately, the glass divine flame had completely disappeared. Even though they were living creatures born from the glass divine flame, they couldn't sense the existence of the glass divine flame at this moment. Crack, crack. Cracks began to appear in the surrounding space, producing cracking sounds. This overlapping space, which was only a dozen or so miles in circumference, was about to collapse and disappear into the endless nothingness. The overlapping space originally existed because of the existence of the glass divine flame. Now that the glass divine flame had disappeared, this overlapping space couldn't continue and could no longer sustain itself. Roar! The fire demon kings began to feel fear and restlessness. They had completely lost their backbone. It wasn't just the fire demon kings. The moment the glass divine flame disappeared, the million miles of the glass sea also began to change greatly. All the cultivators who were training here, as well as the living creatures, fire demons, and demonic beasts, were all restless. Because everyone could feel that the flames here were rapidly diminishing and the temperature was gradually decreasing. In the colored glass sea, millions of kilometers of sea of flames were undergoing earth-shattering changes. What's going on? Why is the temperature decreasing? The flames here are decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Some fundamental reason must have happened. The entire glass sea is changing. It's a disruptive change. At this speed, the flames here will be completely extinguished in less than a month. The million miles of the glass sea will completely become a deserted alternate dimension. No one wasn't shocked. No one knew what was happening. Everything happened too suddenly. At the peak of a volcano, the Crown Prince, Mui Bai, and Long Shan also sensed the changes. They were equally shocked, especially the Crown Prince and Mui Bai. This wasn't the first time they had been to the glass sea and they were extremely familiar with the environment here. It was the first time such a huge change had happened. How could this be? The glass sea can't continue. The Crown Prince frowned. Ha ha ha, I got it. Long Shan laughed heartily. His face was full of joy. Damn monkey, what are you laughing at? What do you know? Mui Bai glared at Long Shan. After coming into contact with the glass sea, Mui Bai's impression of Long Shan had become extremely good. His impression of him was also increasing rapidly. Little Chenzi must have found the fire seed of the glass divine fire and devoured it. Think about it, to extinguish the flames of the million miles of the glass sea, other than losing the fire source, is there any other possibility? Long Shan said. You're saying that teacher obtained the fire seed of the glass divine fire? The Crown Prince's eyes widened. That's right. It might sound unbelievable, but nothing is unbelievable when it comes to little Chenzi. Long Shan said proudly. So the legend of the glass divine fire is true. The fire seed really exists. Teacher's methods are indeed beyond our imagination. The existence of the glass sea has existed for so many years and countless Star-Lord experts have entered, but none of them have been able to find the location of the glass divine fire. Teacher has found it now. Mui Bai sighed. His eyes were full of admiration for Jiang Chen. Mui Bai wouldn't have believed it if someone else had obtained the glass divine fire. However, if this happened to Jiang Chen, Mui Bai didn't doubt it at all. In fact, he believed it without a doubt. Yes, teacher's methods are beyond our imagination. This is the true reincarnation of an almighty. With teacher around, I'm confident that the threat of the human race can be resolved, the Crown Prince said. The admiration he had for Jiang Chen was no different from Mui Bai's. More importantly, the two didn't feel jealous when they heard that Jiang Chen obtained the glass divine fire. Chapter 45-44. Moreover, if the glass divine flame disappeared, the Crown Prince and Mui Bai would have 10,000 reasons to believe Long Shan's words. The one who obtained the glass divine flame was definitely Jiang Chen. Apart from Jiang Chen, no one else possessed such an ability. Let alone obtaining the glass divine flame, no one had even been able to find the location of the glass sea in the countless years it had existed. Yet, the glass divine flame had disappeared the moment Jiang Chen had entered. Wasn't this obvious? If the colored glass divine flame disappears, the colored glass sea will not be able to continue. The fire demons and living creatures that were born because of the colored glass divine flame will become extremely agitated. I'm afraid that the colored glass sea will be in great chaos in the following period of time. Mui Bai said. The more chaotic, the better. I like chaos. Long Shan's eyes of fire and gold flickered in thought. This fellow who craved for the world to be in chaos was someone who could not stay still. Moreover, Long Shersan had slain quite a few fire demons in the Glass Sea over the past dozen or so days. He had even obtained a few treasures, allowing his cultivation to advance once again, reaching the 8th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Whether it was Jiang Chen or Long Shersan, this trip to the Glass Sea had been worth it. Their cultivation had increased by leaps and bounds. Roar. The fire demons wreaked havoc. As the flames and temperature disappeared, all the fire demons in the Glass Sea became restless. They began to run around and bite people as if they had gone mad. The fire demons felt like the end of the world had arrived. The disappearance of the glass divine flame had caused them to lose their backbone and faith. The fire demons have gone mad. Many of them want to leave the Glass Sea. Mu Yibai said, "We can't leave. Teacher hasn't appeared yet. Let's go find him together." "These fire demons aren't a threat to us," said the Crown Prince. He was worried about Jiang Chen's safety. In the short time they had spent together, the Crown Prince had developed a great reliance on Jiang Chen. In particular, after learning the secret of the fake Empress, the Crown Prince felt that he could not leave Jiang Chen for even a second. If he left Jiang Chen, he would not be able to do anything when he returned. Jiang Chen was his backbone and the person his mother had chosen. "I wonder where teacher is right now," Mu Yibai said. "We're looking for little Chen, but we won't be able to find him. We'll have to wait for him to find us." Long Shersan said. When the group of fire demons saw Dragon Shersan and the other two, they immediately dashed towards them crazily. Their faces were ferocious and their eyes were bloodshot, filled with bloodlust. The fire demons had fallen into an endless frenzy. The disappearance of the glass divine fire had severely affected their minds. Unfortunately, the Crown Prince and the other two were tough. It was impossible for the fire demons to eat them. They would only be sending themselves to their deaths. Jiang Chen was currently in the Dragon Palace. The disappearance of the overlapping space did not affect the Dragon Palace at all. In the Dragon Palace, Jiang Chen quickly absorbed the colored glass divine fire and fused it into the azure lotus starfire. The whole process was effortless. Boom. Powerful fire energy wreaked havoc in Jiang Chen's body, almost going berserk. However, it was an extremely comfortable feeling for Jiang Chen. His body was just too tough and he was extremely resistant to fire. The glass divine fire would only bring unimaginable benefits to Jiang Chen. It would not be able to cause any harm to Jiang Chen. As the violent energy wreaked havoc, Jiang Chen's cultivation broke through to the 7th heavenly layer in almost an instant. However, this was not the end. This was only the beginning. The boost that the glass divine fire brought to Jiang Chen was unprecedented. After reaching the 7th heavenly layer, Jiang Chen's cultivation soared, heading towards the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. Jiang Chen paid no attention to the situation outside. He focused all his attention on refining the glass divine fire and stabilizing his cultivation. This seclusion lasted for 3 days. During these 3 days, Jiang Chen's cultivation reached the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. He was only a step away from the 8th heavenly layer. By this time, the boost that the glass divine fire had given to Jiang Chen had been completely used up. It had to be mentioned that Jiang Chen's body was like a bottomless pit. It could endure any amount of energy. The powerful glass divine fire seed had only increased his cultivation by a level. "It's time to go out. I wonder what's going on outside." Jiang Chen's eyes shone brightly as he slowly stood up. The confidence on his face was even greater now that he had reached the 7th heavenly layer. If he were to fight Zhu Chongqing in his current state, he was confident that he could defeat him. Of course, this was on the premise that Zhu Chongqing's cultivation remained stagnant for the past month. His current state was the same as it was a month ago. If Zhu Chongqing's cultivation progressed like Mu Yibai's, let alone the 3rd heavenly layer of Star-Lord, Jiang Chen would not be Zhu Chongqing's opponent even if he took a step further and reached the 2nd heavenly layer of Star-Lord. Of course, Jiang Chen did not care. His current state was enough for him to fight Zhu Chongqing. Moreover, he had a solid foundation. If Zhu Chongqing reached the 2nd heavenly layer of Star-Lord, Jiang Chen would be able to put up a fight. He might even be able to use Zhu Chongqing's pressure to increase his cultivation to the 8th heavenly layer of Heavenly Source. Once Jiang Chen reached the 8th heavenly layer of Heavenly Source, it would be useless even if Zhu Chongqing reached the 2nd heavenly layer of Star-Lord. He was destined to be defeated by Jiang Chen. Unless Zhu Chongqing's cultivation progressed by leaps and bounds and he reached the third heavenly layer of Star Lord, that was impossible. Not everyone had a fortuitous encounter. How many people could advance 2 levels in a month? If Mu Yibai had not come across a fortuitous encounter, it would have been impossible for him to progress so quickly. Moreover, the Black King's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds once again, reaching the third heavenly layer of Star Lord. The Black King was definitely a great help to Jiang Chen in the eternal world. The third floor of the Buddha prison palace began to stir restlessly. Jiang Chen felt that the third floor of the Dragon Palace would open as long as he reached the 8th heavenly layer of Heavenly Source without needing to become a Star Lord. If there were no surprises, the third floor was very likely to contain the laws left behind by Long Futu. The laws on the third floor would definitely be more profound than those on the second floor. Jiang Chen planned to split the laws between the Black King, De Huang, and Long Shan when the third floor opened. The laws contained a certain amount of powerful energy that was extremely beneficial to anyone. Chapter 45-45. As soon as Jiang Chen walked out of the Dragon Palace, he immediately sensed that the environment of the colored glass sea had changed. The intensity of the flames was at least a dozen times weaker than it was 3 days ago, and the temperature had also dropped by at least a dozen times. If the environment of the colored glass sea was said to be unbearable for ordinary heavenly source experts, then the current environment could even allow earthly source experts to survive without any problems. Looks like refining the colored glass divine fire has greatly affected the environment of the colored glass sea. This fire domain of 1,000,000 miles is about to become a desolate alternate dimension. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Unknowingly, Jiang Chen had destroyed an alternate dimension. Fire demons wreaked havoc, demonic beasts overflowed, and the colored glass sea was in complete chaos. Jiang Chen could feel the aura of battle and slaughter everywhere. This was unprecedented chaos, the end of an alternate dimension. Jiang Chen knew that from now on, the colored glass sea would become a thing of the past, a legend, fated to disappear in the river of history. Whoosh! 2 figures suddenly appeared, blocking in front of Jiang Chen. They were both fierce and young, but their cultivations were extraordinary, both at the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm, only a step away from becoming a Star Lord. Brat! Hand over all your treasures and I'll spare your life, one of them said viciously. Jiang Chen sneered. He had run into a robber. You 2 humans, why don't you go rob the winged race and the elven race? Jiang Chen asked. Brat! This is the colored glass sea. The colored glass sea is in chaos right now, so who cares what race you're from? We're geniuses of the Azure Dragon Hall, so you'd best not resist. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. The other person said. Their cultivations were nothing in the colored glass sea, where Star Lords were everywhere. They had always been bullied, and whenever they encountered a Star Lord, they would have to flee with their tails between their legs. Now that they had finally encountered someone with a lower cultivation, they had to show off their strength. I advise you to be kind. Jiang Chen shook his head helplessly. Kind? Ha ha ha, I didn't hear wrongly, did I? This kid is talking to us in the colored glass sea. Cut the crap. Kid, seeing that you're also a human, hand over all your treasures and I can spare your life. Both of their faces were filled with ridicule, especially when they heard the word kind. It was as if they had heard the funniest joke in the world. In this world where the strong preyed on the weak, there were actually people who talked about kindness. Wasn't this a joke? All right, I'm not some kind-hearted person anyway. You 2 blind dogs actually dared to rob your ancestor. Hand over all your treasures right now, and I'll spare you on account that you're both humans. Jiang Chen's expression changed abruptly. He looked more like a bandit than they did. In terms of robbery, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Jiang Chen was the founder. What? The 2 were stunned, and the smiles on their faces disappeared. Robbing them instead? He must be sick. This brat's head is bigger than a donkey's. You actually want to rob us? You're really courting death. Kill him. The 2 were enraged. Terrifying presences erupted from their bodies as they attacked Jiang Chen from the left and right. Swish! Jiang Chen also moved. His movements were very simple and clean, throwing out a punch from his left and right. Ah! 2 miserable cries rang out. The chests of the 2 9th heavenly layer Azure Dragon Hall disciples caved in as they vomited blood. Jiang Chen's punch had almost shattered their organs. And this was only because Jiang Chen had been lenient. Otherwise, the two of them would already be dead. Impossible. You're only at the 7th heavenly layer. How can you be so strong? What a powerful fellow. Just who are you? The two of them were shocked. Their previous arrogance had completely vanished, replaced by endless fear. They knew that they had kicked a steel plate. In a place like the Lapis Glass Sea, the name of the Azure Dragon Hall was useless. Not a single person who had managed to survive until now was a pushover. If they made a single mistake, they would die here. Jiang Chen did not reply. He simply extended his hand. Fine, we brothers have lost today. Take it. The two understood Jiang Chen's meaning and casually tossed the universe ring over. Jiang Chen did not stand on ceremony, grabbing it. Two Azure Dragon Hall geniuses who were second only to the Star-Lord were extremely valuable. Ignoring everything else, just the number of origin stones they had was quite a lot. Although Jiang Chen did not lack origin stones, his consumption was just too great. His need for origin stones would only grow larger and larger, so he naturally would not reject anyone. Scram. Jiang Chen waved his hand, not killing the two of them. He was in a good mood right now, or they would not be so lucky. The two of them did not dare to tarry, hurriedly fleeing like a wisp of smoke. If these two were unlucky and ran into someone with a lower cultivation than them, they would be able to rob him. Who would have thought that they would lose all their treasures and even suffer heavy injuries? Even if Jiang Chen did not kill them, with their current condition, they would have to leave the Lapis Glass Sea immediately. Otherwise, their lives would be in danger. The battle with Zhu Chongqing is only a few days away. It's time to go out. I have the stairway to heaven with me, so I can use it to leave the Lapis Glass Sea and return to Kirin Province. However, I still need to look for Houzi and Mu Yibai first. Jiang Chen said that the stairway to heaven was his trump card. It could help Jiang Chen travel through space at will. For example, if Jiang Chen was willing, he could use the stairway to heaven to return to Kirin Province at any time. The Lapis Glass Sea was not large, so it was very easy for Jiang Chen to sense Long Shursan's location. Using his extreme speed, Jiang Chen traveled several hundred kilometers in the blink of an eye. The air in front of him surged and a figure suddenly appeared. Then, a cold light floated beside Jiang Chen, slashing towards Jiang Chen's head. Jiang Chen used the Great Void technique and moved horizontally, easily dodging the attack. Scoundrel. Jiang Chen snorted. Who else could be so good at sneak attacks other than the elves? Kiki, an ear-piercing sneer rang out, and a figure flickered in front of him. An elven Star-Lord expert appeared, holding a half-curved weapon in his hand. It gave off a dark glow, giving off an extremely cold feeling. A mere 7th heavenly source realm can actually dodge my sneak attack. The geniuses of the human race are getting more and more interesting. The old elf's eyes lit up as he looked at Jiang Chen with great interest. What's even more interesting is yet to come. You might die in the hands of a heavenly source realm expert today. Jiang Chen sneered. Chapter 45-46. Hee, the human race really is useless because they only know how to boast. Kid, I really want to know where your confidence comes from. The old elf chuckled. His gaze towards Jiang Chen was filled with mockery. You'll know in a bit. If you choose to run now, you might have a chance to live. Jiang Chen said indifferently. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I can crush you to death with one hand. Dang. The old elf clearly did not want to waste any more time. He decided to strike and kill Jiang Chen in a single strike. The old elf was right. The elves were the most skilled in movement techniques. He had already arrived beside Jiang Chen before anyone could see him move. A giant hand appeared out of nowhere. The blue hand glowed with a dark light. It seemed soft and powerless, but it was actually extremely lethal. It swatted towards Jiang Chen's head. Humph! Jiang Chen snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, he unleashed the true dragon palm. A violent dragon claw appeared out of nowhere, meeting the old elf's blue hand head-on. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk the void collapsed and spatial cracks appeared everywhere. Incomparably violent energy tore the space apart. Asterisk thump thump thump. Asterisk Jiang Chen's palm was destroyed, forcing him to retreat several dozen meters before stabilizing his body. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. A Star Master expert was indeed not easy to deal with. There was an uncrossable gap between the Heavenly Source realm and the Star Master realm. Kid, you can actually block a palm of mine. When did such a genius appear in the human race? You're only at the 7th heavenly layer. If you're allowed to mature, you'll definitely become a great threat to my elven race. Although the old elf had gained the upper hand in a single move, repelling Jiang Chen, there was no excitement on his face at all. Instead, it was filled with shock. He was a powerful star master. Although he was only at the 1st heavenly layer, he was still a supreme existence to ordinary heavenly source experts. The old elf understood his own strength extremely well as the power of his palm strike. Let alone a 7th heavenly layer heavenly origin. Even a 9th heavenly layer heavenly origin would die without a doubt. However, the 7th heavenly layer heavenly origin human genius had only been pushed back. He was completely unscathed and had not even suffered a scratch on his skin. How could the old elf accept such an outcome? This was simply a blow, an invisible blow. Dragon transformation. Jiang Chen didn't want to waste any more time. He immediately transformed into his dragon form. The palm strike just now had made him understand the true strength of a Star Lord. With his current condition, he had to transform into his dragon form to kill him. Asterisk roar. Asterisk the dragon's roar shook the heavens, causing the space within a radius of 1,000 miles to tremble. At this moment, Jiang Chen transformed into an azure dragon. His eyes were like those of an ancient god of death, devoid of any emotions. Transformation. The old elf's expression changed. He could clearly feel that Jiang Chen's battle prowess had increased by at least 10 times after his transformation. The old elf couldn't help but be shocked. A 10-fold increase in combat power could very well change the situation. Azure Dragon's 5 steps. Jiang Chen used the Azure Dragon's 5 steps. Space shattered as he took a step towards the old elf. I'd like to see just how powerful a puny heavenly origin expert can be. The old elf gnashed his teeth and became furious. A powerful energy wave swept across the area, and a blue flame emerged from his body. The blue blade in his hand started expanding, and in the blink of an eye, it had turned into a sharp sword that pierced through the sky, slashing toward Jiang Chen. Boom! The powerful pressure from the Azure Dragon's 5 steps was like a mountain. The blade in the old elf's hand was unable to move at all, and he was actually forced back several steps by Jiang Chen's steps. What? The old elf was at a loss. His eyes were about to bleed. He stared at Jiang Chen as if he was looking at a ghost. He was even beginning to doubt whether Jiang Chen's cultivation was really only at the 7th layer of the heavenly source realm. Since when did the 7th heavenly layer become so powerful? Boom! Jiang Chen naturally did not give the old elf any time to react. The 2nd step of the Azure Dragon's 5 steps had already arrived above the old elf's head. The old elf felt helpless. He felt like an invisible mountain was pressing down on him, about to crush his body. He could only continue to raise the blade in his hand to block. The powerful pressure was unparalleled. Even a main soldier was unable to do anything about it. Jiang Chen's foot stepped on the old elf's blade, causing it to produce a cracking sound. Wah! The old elf was sent flying several dozen meters, vomiting a mouthful of blood. The old elf was already unable to block the 2nd step of the Azure Dragon's 5 steps and was injured. Before he could even react, Jiang Chen's 3rd step had already landed. The Azure Dragon's 5 steps. Each step was stronger and more powerful than the last, and the speed of each step increased. Coupled with the fact that this powerful true dragon battle skill had fused with Jiang Chen's heaven-surmounting Dao, it had become a battle skill of Dao. Wah! The old elf vomited a mouthful of blood on the 3rd step. He could no longer resist. Rumble! Jiang Chen's 4th step had also landed. It came from above, as if he was about to stomp an ant to death. The old elf's hand that was holding the blade was trembling. He was already an arrow at the end of its flight. How could he still have the strength to block the terrifying 4th step? Crack! The 4th step landed mercilessly. The bones in the old elf's body produced cracking sounds. It was as if his entire body was about to be torn apart by the power of the 5 elements. At this time, the old elf began to regret. He regretted appearing at this time and encountering such a ferocious guy. Even at this time, apart from regret, the old elf still could not understand how a heavenly source realm cultivator could have such terrifying battle strength. It was so terrifying that it could make one's hair stand on end. Jiang Chen's strength had directly shattered the old elf's understanding of cultivation. This was a subversive change. Even in death, the old elf would not be able to rest in peace. Go to hell. Jiang Chen had always taken advantage of his opponent's weakness to take his life. How could he give his opponent the slightest chance to react? The last step of the Azure Dragon's 5 steps had also landed. No! The old elf used the last of his strength to roar. He raised his head and looked at the illusory foot that was formed from the powerful combat skill. It was like a real dragon descending to the world. The old elf felt like his body was about to be torn apart. He was locked on by an invisible mountain. He did not even have the ability to escape. Boom! The violent power swept everything. The 5th step landed mercilessly in the end. The old elf could not fight back at all. Under this foot, his entire body was stomped into meat paste. He died tragically in the void. Jiang Chen stretched out his hand and put away the old elf's sharp blade. This was a main combat weapon, and it was worth a fortune. Putting aside whether it was useful to Jiang Chen or not, it could still be sold for a good price. An ordinary First Heaven Star Lord can't even withstand a single blow from me. There's no pressure. Chapter 45-47. After killing the old elf so easily, Jiang Chen gained a certain understanding of his own battle prowess. Although I can kill a Star Master like the old elf, it'll still be rather difficult for me to fight Zhu Chongqing. A genius like Zhu Chongqing is not someone the old elf can compare to, so I can't be careless when the time comes, thought Jiang Chen. He would never have a rival in love, especially a powerful one. As a young genius of the Vermilion Bird Camp, Zhu Chongqing's talent was not much worse than Mu Yibai's. Jiang Chen only had the ability to fight Zhu Chongqing because he had reached the peak of the 7th heavenly layer of Heavenly Source. If he was not at the peak of the 7th heavenly layer, Jiang Chen would not stand a chance against Zhu Chongqing. Killing the old elf was only a small interlude for Jiang Chen. He needed to reunite with the Crown Prince and the others first. In the next few days, Jiang Chen rampaged through the Lapis Glass Sea, killing countless fire demons. If he encountered an opponent he could not defeat, he would immediately flee. With the Great Void technique, his speed was unparalleled. Coupled with the Stairway to Heaven and the Dragon Palace, he was basically a fish in the Lapis Glass Sea, swimming without fear. It was impossible for anyone to kill Jiang Chen. On this day, Jiang Chen successfully reunited with Long San and the others. Seeing the changes in Jiang Chen's cultivation and the unparalleled ruler's aura, the Crown Prince and Mu Yibai could not help but be shocked once again. This was especially true for Mu Yibai, because he was well aware of Jiang Chen's cultivation when he first arrived at the Lapis Glass Sea. It hadn't even been a month, but Jiang Chen had already reached the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. This kind of improvement could no longer be described as leaps and bounds. He was a monster amongst monsters. A monster amongst monsters. We can be at ease now that teacher is fine. The Crown Prince breathed a sigh of relief as a smile appeared on his face. He had been quite worried for Jiang Chen recently, especially after the changes in the Lapis Glass Sea. The fire demons were rampaging and killing was everywhere. How could a heavenly source expert like Jiang Chen not worry? Teacher, did you obtain the glazed divine fire? Mu Yibai asked curiously. Although he already had some guesses, he still wanted to ask Jiang Chen personally when he saw him. After all, this matter involved the colored glass divine flame, and it was truly touching. That's right. I've already found the colored glass divine fire's fire seed, so the environment here has changed. Jiang Chen didn't hide anything. He flipped his palm, and the glass flower rippled out. Scarlet flames danced on Jiang Chen's palm, beautiful and fiery. It really is the colored glass divine fire. The Crown Prince's eyes lit up. Master is indeed a god. The colored glass sea has existed for countless years, and the legend of the colored glass divine flame has also been passed down for countless years. Countless experts from the Crimson Afterglow astral boundary have entered the colored glass sea to find the colored glass divine flame, but they all ended up in failure. I didn't expect that the colored glass divine flame would fall into Master's hands today. Congratulations! Mu Yibai sincerely admired Jiang Chen. He looked at the glass flower on Jiang Chen's palm, and his eyes couldn't help but burn with passion. Of course it was only passion. He didn't have any other thoughts, let alone greed. Mu Yibai only had a yearning for this legendary flame. Now that he was fortunate enough to see it, he was somewhat surprised and longed for it. I was just lucky. However, now that I've taken away the glass divine flame, this glass sea will likely be destroyed. Before long, the flames here will be completely extinguished, and the temperature will return to normal. The space within 1,000,000 miles will also be abandoned, turning into a completely abandoned space. Jiang Chen said faintly as he slowly put away the colored glass divine flame. Great! Master has overturned the colored glass sea. This in itself is a miracle. The Crown Prince said excitedly. His admiration for Jiang Chen was like a torrential river flowing endlessly. Master, the battle with Zhu Chongqing is almost over. It should be tomorrow. We should go back. Mu Yibai reminded. Yes, I remember. Jiang Chen nodded. Master's cultivation has improved a lot, but he's still at the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. He hasn't even reached the 8th heavenly layer. It's still very worrying for him to fight Zhu Chongqing in his current state. The Crown Prince frowned. He had never personally witnessed Jiang Chen's battle prowess, so he was naturally very worried. After all, Zhu Chongqing was a genius disciple of the Vermilion Bird Camp. There were no mediocre people in the Vermilion Bird Camp. Even if Zhu Chongqing hadn't made any progress in the past month, he was still much stronger than an ordinary first heavenly layer Star Lord. Jiang Chen and Zhu Chongqing were going to fight to the death. Why don't I go find Zhu Chongqing and get him to give up on the battle? The Crown Prince suggested. The Vermilion Bird Camp was under his jurisdiction. As long as he said the word, let alone Zhu Chongqing, even the elders of the Vermilion Bird Camp would not dare to say a word. No, I'm the one who proposed the battle. Plus, Zhu Chongqing has probably already been corrupted by the fake empress. We might be able to dig out some things from him. This battle is unavoidable. Plus, I'm not afraid of Zhu Chongqing. Let's go. Let's leave the Azure Sea. Jiang Chen said. Zhu Chongqing had hurriedly jumped out when the guards at the city gates had discovered the elf spy. It was clearly unusual, so how could Jiang Chen let go of such an opportunity? All right, I'll personally supervise the battle tomorrow, said the Crown Prince. He originally wanted to say that he would not let Zhu Chongqing harm Jiang Chen, but when he thought that it would be disrespectful to Jiang Chen and even look down on him, he immediately shut his mouth. It was very easy for a dead person to leave the Azure Sea. The space of the Azure Sea was unstable, and there were spatial cracks everywhere. As a powerful Star Lord, tearing through space to return was a piece of cake. Space rippled and light flashed. Before long, Jiang Chen and the others left the Azure Sea and returned to Kirin Province. The place where they came out of the space was the place where they had entered, the peak of Mu Yibai's White Cloud Peak. The Crown Prince couldn't help but take a deep breath as he looked at the hazy air currents around him. For him, it was indeed a feeling of rebirth. The Crown Prince could be said to have narrowly escaped death on this trip to the Azure Sea. If not for the appearance of Jiang Chen and Mu Yibai, he would have died at the hands of Lin Yong and Mu Yibai. There was no way he would have been able to see the light of day again. Moreover, not only was the Crown Prince not dead, but he had also resolved his hidden danger. His cultivation recovered, and he had even reached the 5th heaven of Star Lord, becoming a true expert. With the Crown Prince's cultivation as a 5th heaven of Star Lord, it was undoubtedly more advantageous for him to take charge of the Vermilion Bird Camp. Your Highness, your cultivation has already recovered, and it's even stronger than before. In this way, the fake Empress will definitely be worried, and it's inevitable that she will secretly make things difficult for you. You have to be careful. Chapter 45-48. Hearing this, the Crown Prince's face could not help but darken once again. Although he had gained quite a lot from this trip to the Glass Sea, he had also suffered a huge blow. The person he trusted the most wanted to kill him, was a spy from another tribe, and the mother he respected the most was actually an impostor who had secretly poisoned him. The Crown Prince didn't know how to react to this sudden blow. He was on the verge of a mental breakdown. But for the Crown Prince's temperament, this was undoubtedly an extremely intense trial. If he didn't break down, he would rise, truly rise. Jiang Chen's words were extremely influential to the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince knew very well that the fake Empress had already planned to act against him. Killing him would be the start of their grand scheme. Now that he wasn't dead, and his cultivation had recovered, the fake Empress would definitely notice him. There was no doubt about this. Therefore, the Crown Prince wasn't very safe right now. He had to be extremely careful. Of course, this was the capital, and the Crown Prince had his greatest support. With his cultivation as a 5th heaven Star Lord, as long as he was careful, it wouldn't be easy for an ordinary person to harm him. Don't worry, teacher. I know what I'm doing. I don't know how many spies from other races have infiltrated the Great Forest, or how many have been corrupted by the fake Empress, but I do know who is more reliable. I'll move in secret and gather people. We'll start by reorganizing the Vermilion Bird Camp. We'll dig out the spies one by one and quietly eliminate them. The Crown Prince's eyes were cold and ruthless. He had to be ruthless now. Monkey, go with the Crown Prince to the Vermilion Bird Camp. Jiang Chen looked at Long Shersan. I'm going to the Vermilion Bird Camp? Long Shersan froze, then looked at Mu Yibai with some reluctance. That's right. The Crown Prince needs your help to control the Vermilion Bird Camp. You have the eyes of fire and gold, so you can discover the elves and winged spies in the Vermilion Bird Camp. Jiang Chen said. That's great. With Brother 13 following me, I'll be even more confident. A look of excitement appeared on the Crown Prince's face. He had already experienced Long Shersan's abilities. He had praised him endlessly in the Colored Glass Sea. It was no exaggeration to say that although Long Shersan's cultivation had not reached the level of a Star Lord, he was much more useful to the Crown Prince than a truly powerful Star Lord. All right, then let Grandpa Monkey go to Vermilion Bird Camp and find those birdmen and little elves, and whip their corpses. Long Shersan chuckled. The corners of Jiang Chen's mouth also curved into a smile. He could already see the Nashi spies disguised in the imperial capital beginning to suffer one by one. The imperial capital was also about to usher in new changes. The path of revenge that Jiang Chen had promised Empress Lin had officially begun. Previously, in the Red East region, Jiang Chen had single-handedly wiped out the entire winged race. Now that he was in the Red Middle region, Jiang Chen wanted to repeat the results of the battle in the Red East region. He wanted to wipe out the winged race and the elves, and let the human race become the true masters of the Red Cloud astral domain. I'll go back and make arrangements. Tomorrow, your battle with Zhu Chongqing will be held in Kirin province. I'll bring Zhu Chongqing here, so there's no need for Master to go there, Lin Tianlin said, apologizing to Jiang Chen. Lin Tianlin said apologetically to Jiang Chen. Although he was the fifth Heavenly Star Lord Crown Prince and had a noble status, he didn't dare to show any arrogance in front of Jiang Chen. He was just like a junior. It's fine. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. He didn't care about the location of the duel at all. He was already looking forward to the battle with Zhu Chongqing. With his current combat strength, dealing with Zhu Chongqing was a piece of cake. He didn't panic at all. After the Crown Prince and Long Shersan left, Jiang Chen returned to his previous residence. After the incident with Wang Lin, it had become a lot quieter. Almost no one came looking for trouble. However, when Jiang Chen returned, he found that it was a bit too quiet. De Huang and Xiaolong weren't there. Where did those two guys go? Jiang Chen frowned. At this moment, Azi walked in from outside. Seeing that Jiang Chen had returned, Azi's face immediately bloomed into a smile. Big brother Jiang, you're back. Mu Yixi's bright eyes sized up Jiang Chen as if she was looking at a rare object. After all, to be able to return from the Colored Glass Sea in one piece was shocking. Well, where are De Huang and Xiaolong? Jiang Chen asked. The two of them went to the Minor Cosm world to train. You guys went to the Colored Glass Sea. How could the two of them stay idle? Mu Yixi said. Where's the Minor Cosm world? Jiang Chen said. The Minor Cosm world is a small world opened up by the Great Lin Empire. Usually, the geniuses of the 4 prefectures and 1 camp would go there to train. Does Big Brother Jiang want to go there? Mu Yixi asked. No need. I'll fight Zhu Chongqing tomorrow. It's fine if those 2 guys go there to train. Jiang Chen smiled. He could understand why De Huang and Xiaolong wanted to enter the Minor Cosm world. Those 2 guys weren't easy to deal with. Asking them to stay in Kirin province to train would be harder than beating them to death. Moreover, Jiang Chen was relieved that Xiaolong was with De Huang. It was even harder to find someone who could make De Huang suffer. Big brother Jiang, are you confident in fighting Zhu Chongqing tomorrow? Zhu Chongqing is very powerful. Mu Yixi looked at Jiang Chen with worry written all over her face. Don't worry. Jiang Chen patted Mu Yixi's shoulder with confidence. The next day, early in the morning, the Crown Prince brought Zhu Chongqing to Kirin province. At this time, Kirin province was really in an uproar. The battle between Jiang Chen and Zhu Chongqing had stirred up a lot of commotion, but it was soon forgotten by everyone. After all, such a battle was meaningless to them, because the two of them weren't even on the same level. There was no comparison between the two of them. Moreover, because Jiang Chen went to the Colored Glass Sea, in the eyes of the people, The hope of Jiang Chen walking out of the colored glass sea alive was extremely slim, let alone fighting Zhu Chongqing. Only now did people suddenly realize that not only had Jiang Chen returned alive from the colored glass sea, he had also fulfilled his promise with Zhu Chongqing a month ago. This was a miracle. They're really going to fight. How is Jiang Chen going to fight Zhu Chongqing? If it weren't for the young miss, Jiang Chen would have been killed by Zhu Chongqing already. Yeah, what's the point of a fight like that? There's no suspense at all. But this Jiang Chen is truly extraordinary. He was able to come back alive after going to the Azure Sea. Let's not talk about anything else. Just this alone is enough to make me admire him. Yeah, what kind of place is the colored glass sea? Even the Star-Lord can't guarantee that he'll come out alive. Even heavenly source experts have a slim chance of survival. The fact that Jiang Chen managed to come back alive is enough to prove his ability. Chapter 45-49. The voices of people were like a cauldron of boiling cauldrons. Early in the morning, the central plaza of the Qilin mansion was already filled with people. Everyone's gazes were gathered on the battle stage in the center of the plaza. That battle stage was so tall that it pierced through the clouds. At that moment, there was already a man standing on the battle stage. He was wearing a golden armor and looked extremely powerful. His entire body was filled with battle intent and arrogance. Of course, this was normal. Anyone who possessed such a cultivation at his age would feel proud because he was none other than Zhu Chongqing. Look, His Highness the Crown Prince brought Zhu Chongqing here personally. It was supposed to be a small fight, but now His Highness is here. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. His Highness the Crown Prince is here. All the leaders of Kirin Province have to come out to welcome him. Even the Prefecture Lord is here. This is going to be an unprecedented event for Kirin Province. Did you guys notice that His Highness the Crown Prince looks much better than before? His cultivation seems to have recovered. He's much stronger than before. No way. Didn't they say that His Highness cultivation has not improved at all in the past 3 years? Sigh, if the #1 genius of the Great Lin Empire can't recover, it would be a pity. I hope His Highness can recover. Without a doubt, Lin Tianlin had become the focus of everyone's attention. After all, they were two completely different people. Lin Tianlin was His Highness the Crown Prince of the Great Lin Empire. He used to be the #1 genius of the Great Lin Empire. Even though he had fallen from grace, he was still not someone ordinary people could compare to. Moreover, many people had noticed that Lin Tianlin's strength had recovered. Once His Highness the Crown Prince regained his former glory, he would still be the most outstanding young man in the Great Lin Empire. Before long, all of the higher-ups of the Qilin mansion were dispatched. They descended onto the central plaza and stood in front of Lin Tianlin. The leader was wearing a dark blue robe. He looked to be around 50 years old. His posture was graceful and his aura was unparalleled. As soon as he appeared, the entire square quieted down. Countless disciples looked at the old man with respect. The old man was none other than the Prefecture Lord of Kirin Province, the pillar of the Great Forest Empire, Star Lord Ninth Sky Expert, Mu Tianheng. Next to Mu Tianheng were 3 Vice Mansion Masters, all of whom were at the 8th heaven of the Star Lord realm, and a group of elders, all of whom were at the 5th heaven of the Star Lord realm or above. These supreme cultivators represented the entire Kirin Province, and even the peak of the Dalan Empire. Normally, it was impossible for all of them to appear together, especially Mu Tianheng. He almost never appeared in public. So many disciples of Kirin Province had never had the chance to see this legendary chief. If it weren't for His Highness the Crown Prince's arrival today, it would be almost impossible for many disciples to see Mu Tianheng. Oh my God, I've been in Kirin Province for 2 years, and this is the first time I've seen the governor. Me too. It's my honor to be able to witness the Mansion Master's glory with my own eyes. The aura of a supreme expert at the 9th heaven of the Star Lord is simply too powerful. Every single move he makes exudes supreme dominance. His Highness the Crown Prince is the next emperor of the Great Forest Empire. I'm afraid only His Highness the Crown Prince can make the governor show up in person. Mu Tianheng was a legend, a 9th sky of the Star Lord realm. He almost stood at the peak of the Crimson Afterglow Astral. Even the current emperor of the Great Forest Empire had to respect him. Mu Tianheng walked in front of Lin Tianlin and saluted. Your Highness has arrived, I salute you. You're too polite, Chief Mu. Tianlin can't accept it. Today is a duel between Zhu Chongqing of the Vermilion Bird Camp and Jiang Chen of the Kirin province. I'm interested, so I came to watch, the Crown Prince said. Said the Crown Prince. He was extremely courteous to Mu Tianheng, not daring to show the slightest bit of disrespect. Jiang Chen. Mu Tianheng frowned. Father, he's a new disciple of our Kirin province. He had some conflicts with Zhu Chongqing before and set a duel in a month. Mu Yibai hurriedly explained and told Mu Tianheng about what happened outside the Imperial City Gate a month ago. After all, an expert like Mu Tianheng wouldn't pay attention to such trivial matters. Even though Jiang Chen had caused a stir in the Imperial City, he couldn't attract the attention of the real big shots. A heavenly source cultivator challenging a Star Lord. Isn't this a joke? It even attracted the attention of His Highness. Mu Tianheng frowned even more. He felt that it was a joke. But what was more unbelievable was that such a joke would attract the attention of His Highness the Crown Prince. Did His Highness have nothing better to do? Obviously not. Mu Tianheng knew Lin Tianlin very well. Even though Lin Tianlin hadn't been doing well in the past 3 years, he had been working hard and never gave up. This was also the reason why Mu Tianheng cared so much about Lin Tianlin. As a result, Mu Tianheng became interested in Jiang Chen, who he had never met before. Thinking of Lin Tianlin's cultivation, Mu Tianheng's expression suddenly changed. He looked at the Crown Prince again. This time, he couldn't help but tremble. Your Highness, your cultivation has recovered. Mu Tianheng was surprised. With his cultivation and eyesight, he could naturally see the change in Lin Tianlin. It was as if he had been reborn. That's right. My problem has been completely solved, and my cultivation has improved. I've reached the peak of the 5th heaven of the Star-Lord realm. I can reach the 6th heaven of the Star-Lord realm at any time, the Crown Prince said. He couldn't help but feel proud. Of course, he knew very well who gave him this pride. Congratulations. Congratulations, Your Highness. Mu Tianheng laughed, his face full of relief. It was clear that Mu Tianheng had always felt sorry for the Crown Prince's fall from grace. Now that he saw the Crown Prince regaining his former glory, he couldn't help but feel happy for him. This kid's cultivation has actually recovered. How is that possible? Next to Mu Tianheng, an old man frowned, a trace of coldness flashing in the depths of his eyes. Lin Tianlin's recovery clearly made him extremely puzzled, and even very disappointed. This old man was a deputy institute master of Kirin province, Dan Liang. Yibai, where's Lao? Jiang Chen? Why hasn't he appeared yet? Lin Tianlin looked at Mu Yibai and was about to say the word teacher, but he immediately felt that it was inappropriate and changed it to Jiang Chen. He should be here soon. He'll definitely be punctual, Mu Yibai said. Chapter 45-50. The white-clothed figure was none other than Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's appearance immediately caused an uproar in the central square, making him the absolute focal point. Look, Jiang Chen's here. He really dared to show up. I thought he was going to back off. Yeah, I really don't know where he gets the courage to challenge a Star Lord as a heavenly source expert. Just this courage alone is enough to make me admire him. If it were me, I wouldn't even have the courage to step onto the stage. Have you guys noticed? Jiang Chen's cultivation is progressing very quickly. Look at his presence. He's already at the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. It's only been a month, yet he's progressed so quickly. What the hell is he doing? He can't even cultivate day and night. Yeah, did he eat some kind of miracle pill? Otherwise, how could he progress so quickly? He's inhuman. What a pity. Even if he's improving so quickly, there's still a huge gap between him and Zhu Chongqing. Zhu Chongqing's already at the peak of the 1st heavenly layer, only a step away from the 2nd heavenly layer. He could reach the 2nd heavenly layer at any time. What does Jiang Chen have to fight him with such a huge gap? And a battle to the death? Isn't that just courting death? Let's see. Jiang Chen should have his own trump card. He's not an idiot after all. There's no point in courting death. Jiang Chen's appearance was shocking, and his rapid progress was even more shocking. However, most people still felt that this was a battle without any suspense. A battle where Jiang Chen was courting death. This was the first time Mu Tianheng had seen Jiang Chen, but his eyes lit up. He's unfathomable. I can't even see through him. He's like the deep sea, bottomless. Mu Tianheng was rather shocked inside. With his supreme cultivation at the 9th heavenly layer of Star-Lord, he actually felt something strange about a heavenly source expert. This in itself was a miracle. It's just that his cultivation is a little too weak. No matter how much of a genius he has no chance of winning against a 1st heavenly layer Star-Lord as a 7th heavenly layer heavenly source. Mu Tianheng shook his head helplessly. He suddenly felt that Jiang Chen was a reckless man who didn't have the slightest self-awareness. According to Mu Yibai, it was Jiang Chen who proposed the 1-month duel. Sending a challenge to a Star-Lord with a cultivation of the heavenly source realm was an idiotic act. Dad, just wait and see. Jiang Chen will surprise you. Mu Yibai couldn't help but say when he saw his father's expression. That's right. Brother Jiang is very powerful. If he hadn't saved me, I would have died in the Hurricane Sky region. Mu Yizhi shook her fist and cheered for Jiang Chen. Then I really have to take a good look. Mu Tianheng said with some interest. He might not care about Mu Yizhi's words, but since even Mu Yibai said so, it proved that Jiang Chen definitely had some tricks up his sleeve. Moreover, Mu Tianheng had absolute reason to believe that the Crown Prince had come to watch the duel because of Jiang Chen and not because of Zhu Chongqing. Although Zhu Chongqing was a master disciple of the Vermilion Bird Camp, he was far from being valued so highly by the Crown Prince. Not to mention that Zhu Chongqing was not the only master disciple of the Vermilion Bird Camp. The two experts faced each other on the stage. Zhu Chongqing looked at Jiang Chen with disdain. His eyes filled with disdain. However, there was also a sliver of shock in his eyes. He was shocked that Jiang Chen's cultivation had risen so quickly. It must be mentioned that Jiang Chen had only been at the 2nd heavenly layer a month ago. In just a month, he had reached the 7th heavenly layer. Zhu Chongqing would never have believed such a terrifying cultivation speed if he had not witnessed it with his own eyes. It was basically a miracle. Kid, how did you advance so quickly? Zhu Chongqing asked curiously. Are you afraid? Jiang Chen shrugged. Afraid? Ha! Zhu Chongqing seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He could not help but laugh out loud. I'm afraid of you? Kid, you're indeed a prodigy. It's rare for you to advance so quickly in a month. At the very least, I can't reach that level. It's a pity that your cultivation is still too weak. You're just an ant to me. Killing you is as easy as flipping my hand. Zhu Chongqing's face was filled with viciousness as killing intent surged from him. He had to kill Jiang Chen in front of everyone today to defend his dignity. One move. I only need one move to kill you. Zhu Chongqing raised his middle finger at Jiang Chen in an arrogant manner. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Jiang Chen said in an indifferent tone. You'll know when you try. Zhu Chongqing's aura fluctuated and he took the initiative to attack. He suddenly punched at Jiang Chen at an extremely fast speed. The void above the fighting stage was penetrated by this punch. In the blink of an eye, it had reached Jiang Chen's Qilin Divine Arm. Jiang Chen swayed his arm and the Qilin Divine Arm rippled out. His body was covered in flames. With the enhancement of the Azure Lotus Starfire, the power of the Qilin Divine Arm was amplified infinitely. Its attack power was 3 times stronger than the true Dragon Palm. Rumble. The Qilin Divine Arm collided with Zhu Chongqing's Divine Fist heavily. It had an earth-shattering momentum. Below the stage, the Crown Prince and Mu Yibai looked nervous. Although they had great confidence in Jiang Chen, the gap between their cultivation was too big. The disciples of Kirin Province were almost certain that Jiang Chen wouldn't be able to withstand Zhu Chongqing's punch. Waves of air surged and flames danced. Jiang Chen was pushed back hundreds of meters by the punch. He felt an indescribable pain in his chest. Even his qi and blood had been violently shaken. However, his body's recovery ability was extremely strong. In the blink of an eye, the discomfort brought to his body by the violent shock had completely disappeared. What? The smile on Zhu Chongqing's face instantly froze. He looked at Jiang Chen as if he was looking at a ghost. It was the same as when he fought against the Elven Star-Lord in the Azure Sea. Although Zhu Chongqing had the upper hand, the result was completely different from what he had imagined. His punch, which was supposed to crush Jiang Chen into minced meat, had failed to harm even a hair on Jiang Chen's body. Impossible. This is impossible. You're only at the heavenly source stage. How can your battle power be so strong? It's even more impossible for you to withstand my punch. Zhu Chongqing couldn't believe it. At the same time, the spectators became restless. Disbelief filled their eyes. My heavens, Is Jiang Chen really that strong? He's able to fight a master genius of the Vermilion Bird Camp with a cultivation of the 7th Heavenly Source stage and come out unscathed. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, who would believe it? Amazing. This fellow is indeed capable. With such a powerful battle prowess, if he can continue to grow, his future will definitely be limitless. It's a pity that he's still not Zhu Chongqing's opponent. But there's going to be some excitement in today's battle. Chapter 45-51. Shock appeared in Mu Tianheng's eyes once again. It was an unprecedented shock. As the provincial master of Kirin province, he had seen too many geniuses, including the crown prince. However, even Lin Tianlin couldn't be compared to Jiang Chen at all. Lin Tianlin was able to take on a first heavenly layer Star-Lord genius with a cultivation of the 7th heavenly layer. Most importantly, a first heavenly layer Star-Lord was incomparable to a Lord genius. What did that mean? 3 levels, and one of them was a great level. The heavenly source stage was a chasm for a Star-Lord. Jiang Chen was still unscathed under such a great disparity in cultivation. Just this alone was enough to make Jiang Chen a supreme genius. Mu Tianheng had no interest in this at all. He had only appeared because the crown prince had arrived. But now he was interested. On the towering battle platform, Zhu Chongqing's aura had reached its peak. The way he looked at Jiang Chen had changed for the first time. He no longer looked down on Jiang Chen, but now looked more serious. Jiang Chen, you've indeed surprised me, but that was just a probing attack. Now, I'll show you what despair is. Zhu Chongqing said Lung Lung. What will surprise you is yet to come. Dragon transformation. Jiang Chen's chi was like a rainbow. He raised his head to the sky and let out an earth-shattering dragon roar, creating a hole in the sky. Under countless horrified gazes, Jiang Chen turned into a blood-red dragon with a shake of his body. He no longer looked like a half-human half-dragon, but a peerless true dragon. He soared in the sky with emotionless eyes. Look, what's that? It's a true dragon. Oh my god. Is Jiang Chen a cosmic dragon? What a powerful true dragon aura. But his human aura is still strong. His body carries 2 bloodlines. This is an ancient transformation technique. It's so powerful. His battle prowess is at least 10 times stronger than before. Amazing! He actually has such powerful means and trump cards. No wonder Jiang Chen is so arrogant. He doesn't even put Zhu Chongqing in his eyes and dares to step onto the fighting stage. A 10-fold increase in battle prowess. Even an ordinary taboo technique wouldn't be able to achieve that. This guy is really too shocking. If Jiang Chen's battle prowess is increased by 10-fold, he would truly have the strength to fight against Zhu Chongqing. Today's battle will be completely worth watching. It's hard to say who will win and who will lose. There was no one who wasn't shocked. The dragon transformation had shocked everyone. No one had ever seen such a transformation technique before. Even the most powerful taboo technique couldn't do it. This was simply a miracle. Teacher actually has such a trick up his sleeves. The crown prince's eyes shone brightly. He was shocked as well. All the worries he had in his heart vanished at this moment. Having personally witnessed Jiang Chen's abilities, the crown prince's respect for Jiang Chen had risen to another level. Asterisk roar. Asterisk Jiang Chen let out a sky-shaking dragon roar. Zhu Chongqing wasn't easy to deal with. Jiang Chen immediately displayed his most perfect dragon transformation. Previously, when he was fighting against the old Sidhe, Jiang Chen was able to instantly kill him in his dragon transformation state. However, it was impossible for him to instantly kill Zhu Chongqing. However, given Jiang Chen's current state, he was absolutely confident that he could defeat Zhu Chongqing. Blood almost seeped out of Zhu Chongqing's eyes. The guy that he had looked down on from the beginning had surprised him again and again. At this moment, facing Jiang Chen's dragon transformation, Zhu Chongqing couldn't help but feel a trace of pressure despite having the cultivation of a Star-Lord. A heavenly source realm cultivator was able to bring pressure to him. This in itself was a very terrifying thing. I'd like to see how powerful your dragon transformation technique is. Universe strike. Zhu Chongqing moved. His murderous aura soared into the sky. No matter what, he had to get rid of Jiang Chen today. Otherwise, he wouldn't have any face left in the imperial capital. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk Zhu Chongqing conjured a seal with both of his hands, causing the entire void to collapse. He created a world of his own. There seemed to be an ancient wild beast swaying in the void. Airwaves that blotted out the sky and covered the earth rushed towards Jiang Chen. This was an absolute killing move. At this moment, Zhu Chongqing no longer dared to hide anything. His belief of killing Jiang Chen in one move had already collapsed. Now, all he wanted was to kill Jiang Chen. Ancient Soaring Dragon Technique. Jiang Chen roared and casted the ancient Soaring Dragon Technique. Combined with the true dragon palm, he unleashed an unparalleled mightiness. For a moment, the entire void collapsed. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk the sky surged. This was the most barbaric collision, the most primitive slaughter. The void collapsed, and the center of the battle had almost become a land of death. No one was not shocked. Everyone was shocked. No one in the central square spoke. Countless gazes were nervously watching the battle in the sky that was almost annihilated. The violent shock waves of the battle stirred up tornadoes. Many people paled, especially the heavenly source disciples. They thought to themselves that if they were in the battle right now, there would be no suspense at all. They would immediately be minced into meat paste. This is too terrifying. I wonder who's going to win. Yeah, I thought Zhu Chongqing would win for sure, but it's hard to say now. Jiang Chen is just too terrifying. He's only at the 7th heavenly layer of heavenly source, yet he's able to fight a master genius to such an extent. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, who would believe it? I'm so nervous. If Jiang Chen wins, he'll basically create a miracle in Kirin province. He'll create a legend that will go down in history. Many people became nervous. Although they were not the ones fighting, they seemed to be even more nervous than the people fighting. They had originally thought that the battle was meaningless, but it had become a classic. Asterisk thump thump thump. Asterisk a while later, a figure was ejected from the chaotic center of the battle. He wore golden armor and should have been a heroic figure, but he was currently in an extremely miserable state. Who else could it be other than Zhu Chongqing in this attire? Zhu Chongqing's face was currently pale. A sliver of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and his hair was completely disheveled. On the other side, Jiang Chen constantly roared as the true dragon floated in the air. His presence was just as powerful as before, and Zhu Chongqing's universe strike had failed to harm him at all. He had lost. Zhu Chongqing had lost, or rather, he had not been completely defeated. However, he had truly fallen into a disadvantageous position with this move. Asterisk voila. Asterisk the entire square began to stir. This outcome had overturned everyone's imaginations, overturned their previous understanding, and even overturned their thoughts. What the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? Chapter 45-52. Zhu Chongqing has actually lost. How is this possible? How can Jiang Chen be so powerful? Although he hasn't been completely defeated, Zhu Chongqing has indeed been defeated by that attack. Jiang Chen is just too powerful. He's able to defeat a master genius with a cultivation of the 7th heavenly layer. I'm speechless. Zhu Chongqing should still have some trump cards up his sleeves, but it won't be easy to defeat Jiang Chen in his current state. If Jiang Chen wins today, he'll become famous. Everyone was shocked. The shock was just too intense. It had completely overturned everyone's understanding. So powerful. The Crown Prince clenched his fists in excitement as his eyes rippled with endless emotions. Mu Yibai was the same as well. Their gazes towards Jiang Chen were filled with endless admiration. Mu Tianheng saw the expressions of the Crown Prince and Mu Yibai, and was even more certain that the Crown Prince had come for Jiang Chen. The admiration in their eyes could not be concealed. It was clear that they had known Jiang Chen for a long time and knew of Jiang Chen's abilities. This person is unfathomable. This was the second time Mu Tianheng had evaluated Jiang Chen as unfathomable. He had even begun to rejoice that he had not missed out on such a dazzling battle. At the top of the sky, Zhu Chongqing's expression was extremely ugly. He could feel the ridicule from the countless gazes that landed on him. A feeling of humiliation rose from the bottom of his heart. He could not accept losing to a puny heavenly source expert. It was an unprecedented blow to him. Zhu Chongqing, you're not my opponent. Killing you is as easy as flipping my hand. Jiang Chen said in a clear and domineering voice. Haha, Jiang Chen, you're indeed very powerful, but you're dreaming if you want to kill me. You forced my hand. Zhu Chongqing laughed heartily. His eyes suddenly turned red as if he had been possessed by a demon. Saint Spirit Curse. Activate. Zhu Chongqing went crazy. Suddenly, a strange aura rippled out from his body. This aura was filled with boundless evil. Black qi started to spread out from his body. At this moment, Zhu Chongqing seemed to have entered the path of evil. Crack crack. Cracking sounds came from Zhu Chongqing's body. His bones started to change, and his body started to move. In the blink of an eye, his body doubled in size, and his eyes turned from blood red to azure. It was hard to tell whether he was human or ghost. At the same time, Zhu Chongqing's cultivation began to soar. In the blink of an eye, he went from the peak of the first heaven to the second heaven of the Star-Lord realm. What the hell is that? Such an evil presence. How can the master-level genius of Vermilion Bird Camp know such an evil skill? An inexplicable soul seems to have appeared in his body, adding an unexpected human aura to it. However, it's different from Jiang Chen's. Jiang Chen's true dragon bloodline is pure yang. He's definitely not an evil demon. So terrifying, Vermilion Bird Camp doesn't have such an evil method. Countless people's expressions changed greatly. Zhu Chongqing's transformation once again pushed the battle to a new peak. What's that? The Crown Prince's expression changed slightly. If Zhu Chongqing couldn't beat Jiang Chen before, he wouldn't have been worried. However, Zhu Chongqing had used a special method to increase his cultivation to the second heaven of the Star-Lord realm. That was a completely different story. How could Jiang Chen be a match for him? This is the Holy Spirit Curse of the Winged Race. Why would it appear on Zhu Chongqing? He's joined the Winged Race. Mu Tianheng's eyes were sharp. He immediately saw the truth of the Holy Spirit Curse. People like him, who were at the peak of the Great Lin Empire, had interacted with the Winged Race many times. He was very familiar with some basic things about the Winged Race. As I thought. The Crown Prince's expression turned cold. If it was before, he might have been shocked, but after learning about the fake Empress, he wasn't shocked at all. Also, he knew that there was probably more than one person like Zhu Chongqing in Vermilion Bird Camp. Even many of the upper echelons had been corrupted. The Holy Spirit Curse wouldn't fall on a human for no reason. The person affected by the Holy Spirit Curse must be under the control of the Winged Race. Mu Tianheng's expression also became extremely cold. The main genius of Vermilion Bird Camp had been affected by the Holy Spirit Curse. This probably wasn't a good thing. Ibai, kill him. Don't hurt Jiang Chen. The Crown Prince looked at Mu Ibai and said nervously, "Yes, Your Highness." With that, Mu Ibai's body swayed and he soared into the air. Mu Tianheng didn't stop him. This was the Crown Prince's order. Also, he felt that Zhu Chongqing should be killed. If he didn't kill him and lost a powerful genius like Jiang Chen, it would be a loss for Kirin Province and even the Lin Kingdom. A loss that couldn't be recovered. Go back. Mu Ibai heard Jiang Chen's yell when he was only halfway there. Mu Ibai stopped and looked at Jiang Chen worriedly. A pair of dragon eyes stared at him with a commanding expression. Yes, Master. Mu Ibai didn't dare to be stubborn. He turned around and went back. Your Highness, he must have his own tricks. If I kill Zhu Chongqing now, I'm afraid it will make him unhappy. Mu Ibai said. Yes, let's wait and see. If there's no other choice, we still have to act to ensure his safety. The Crown Prince said. Countless people's expressions changed. The meaning of this battle had changed. Even though many people didn't know what the Holy Spirit Curse was, Zhu Chongqing's change had already made people come up with a plan. This was no longer a main genius that Vermilion Bird Camp had focused on nurturing. This was a real evil demon. Zhu Chongqing let out a roar. At this moment, he had lost his mind. There was only killing intent in his eyes. He only wanted to kill Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, die! Zhu Chongqing shouted and charged at Jiang Chen with the momentum of a mad demon. Ancient Soaring Dragon Art. Jiang Chen casted the Ancient Soaring Dragon technique once again and faced Zhu Chongqing head-on. His battle intent was even higher than before. His body was covered with a violent flame, as if it was going to dye the sky red. He didn't retreat at all. He was a true warrior, a king warrior. Zhu Chongqing was powerful, but Jiang Chen was fearless. He wanted to use the pressure from Zhu Chongqing to increase his cultivation to the 8th heavenly layer. Due to the divine glass fire, Jiang Chen's cultivation was already at the peak of the 7th heavenly layer. Half a step into the 8th heavenly layer. Jiang Chen only needed an opportunity to break through and become an 8th heavenly layer, heavenly layer, heavenly layer. The battle with Zhu Chongqing was an opportunity, the best opportunity. How could he let Mu Yibai interfere at such a time? Rumble. Chapter 45-53. The entire sky had turned chaotic. Even though they were so far away, the people below could still feel a chill that made them shiver. If they were mixed in the battlefield at this moment, there was no need to even think about it. Just the terrifying shockwaves of the battle alone would be enough to kill them instantly. Too powerful. He's too powerful. I don't know what kind of technique Zhu Chongqing used to advance to the second heavenly Star Lord realm, turning the situation around. I'm afraid that Jiang Chen is no match for him. Yeah, the difference in cultivation is a little too great. It's already very terrifying that Jiang Chen can kill someone so many levels higher than him. Unless he reaches the 8th heavenly layer of heavenly source, it's basically impossible for him to defeat Zhu Chongqing. Just now, Eldest Miss was about to attack. Zhu Chongqing might have undergone some kind of demonic transformation, but he was stopped by Jiang Chen. It seems like Jiang Chen has some confidence. Let's wait and see. I'm afraid that the next battle will be very exciting. It was hair-raising. Who would have thought that a battle with no suspense at all would turn into such an intense battle? Asterisk rumble. Asterisk space shook. Jiang Chen was finally forced out by the violent force. Dragon scales danced in the air, and many wounds appeared on his body. Blood splattered everywhere. Asterisk roar. Asterisk Jiang Chen let out a sky-shaking dragon roar. Just when everyone thought that he couldn't hold on any longer, he swayed his mighty body and dashed towards Zhu Chongqing once more, as if he didn't care about the injuries he had suffered at all. You're courting death. Zhu Chongqing had completely entered the path of the blood demon and lost his consciousness. A cruel smile filled his face when he saw Jiang Chen charge at him again. After reaching the second heavenly layer of Star-Lord, Zhu Chongqing could completely suppress Jiang Chen. As a result, Zhu Chongqing did not take Jiang Chen seriously at all. Jiang Chen's powerful healing ability was comparable to divine pills. As long as the injuries weren't fatal or didn't harm his origin, he wouldn't care at all. For example, the injuries that Zhu Chongqing had inflicted on him could be healed in an instant. Jiang Chen was able to recover completely in just a few breaths. Jiang Chen was searching for the critical point to break through with the pressure from Zhu Chongqing. He had already found it. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk Jiang Chen was bounced out for the second time, and the injuries on his body increased. Worry could be seen on the faces of the Crown Prince, Mu Yibai, and the others. The only person who wasn't worried was Dragon Xueqi. He had been calmly watching the battle since the beginning, and he didn't show any signs of worry. This was a sign of his confidence in Jiang Chen, a great confidence in him. This confidence surpassed his own. Only Long Xueqi had absolute reason to believe that Zhu Chongqing would definitely die today. No one could defeat Jiang Chen when he got serious. Jiang Chen would either not attack, or once he did, it would be the end of the world for his enemies. F***CK. He's too fierce. This Jiang Chen is too fierce. He keeps fighting and pressing forward. His injuries don't seem to affect his fighting spirit at all. How can such a person not be strong? This is a temperament that belongs to the strong. If we can possess such a temperament, we'll be able to go very far in the future. I can tell that Jiang Chen wants to use Zhu Chongqing's pressure to increase his cultivation to the 8th heavenly layer. Once he reaches the 8th heavenly layer, he'll have a chance to turn the tables and truly defeat Zhu Chongqing. That's right, I can tell too. This is just too exciting. Let's hope he succeeds and let us witness a miracle. Many people were convinced by Jiang Chen's fighting spirit. Let alone the disciples of Qiren province, even the patriarch, Mu Tianheng, and the crown prince, Lin Tianlin, were completely convinced. Lin Tianlin's admiration for Jiang Chen in particular had reached a peak once again. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk Jiang Chen was knocked back once again. He was covered in injuries. Asterisk roar. Asterisk however, in the next moment, Jiang Chen roared at the sky. His 300-meter-long body spun around 3 times in the air as his presence underwent a tremendous change. His cultivation soared through the clouds, reaching the 8th heavenly layer of heavenly source. The aura of Jiang Chen, who was at the 8th heavenly layer, was gradually rising. The injuries on his body were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a blink of an eye, He had recovered to his peak condition. He's broken through. Look, Jiang Chen's broken through. Oh my god. Is that even possible? He's really broken through in battle. That's just too awesome. No wonder he didn't let the young miss fight. This is Jiang Chen's true intentions. Zhu Chongqing has helped Jiang Chen. After reaching the 8th heavenly layer, Jiang Chen's battle prowess will definitely rise. I hope he can turn the tables. The crowd was stunned once again. Mu Yibai and the Crown Prince looked at each other, seeing the shock in each other's eyes. Jiang Chen's progress was unbelievable, especially Mu Yibai. Back when he had brought Jiang Chen to the Glass Sea, Jiang Chen had only been at that level of cultivation. Only a month had passed since then. Zhu Chongqing, you're done for. Jiang Chen's presence was like a rainbow as an ancient aura erupted from his body. Clang! In the next moment, the heavenly dragon sword appeared in his hand. In the blink of an eye, he had fused with the sword. 26 swords. Ultimate killing move. 26 swords, dragon and sword as one. In the sky, the man was the dragon was the sword, and the sword was the man. There was no distinction between them. What sword technique is this? It possesses supreme mysteries. I've studied the way of the sword for so many years, but I can't even see the slightest bit of it. What a powerful sword technique. Everything in the world has become the only sword technique. This is a supreme way of the sword. Only a true grandmaster of the way of the sword can use it. I've comprehended many things from it. The supreme way of the sword once again shocked everyone, especially those who were proficient in the way of the sword. Their eyes were filled with boundless fanaticism. They had never seen such a profound sword technique before. Some Starlord experts felt that this sword technique alone was enough for them to learn for a lifetime. They might not be able to reach the height of 10,000 years. Howl! The sword whistled as it pierced through the sky and slashed down on Zhu Chongqing's head. Ka 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 ka. This sword slashed through all of Zhu Chongqing's attacks with irresistible force and finally landed on Zhu Chongqing's body. A blood-curdling scream was heard. Zhu Chongqing was cut into half by Jiang Chen's sword. Don't kill him! The Crown Prince shouted, but it was too late. Zhu Chongqing was already dead. Your Highness, you want to learn about the Holy Spirit curse from Zhu Chongqing, right? It's useless. Those who have been cursed by the Holy Spirit will never reveal any secrets. From the moment Zhu Chongqing activated the curse, he was destined to die. Chapter 45-54. Zhu Zhongqing had been cursed by the Holy Spirit, and the Crown Prince knew the secret of the fake Empress. He definitely wanted to learn something from Zhu Zhongqing, or at the very least, find some spies hidden in the Vermilion Bird Camp. In reality, it was as Mu Tianheng had said, the Holy Spirit curse would kill Zhu Zhongqing. Even if he didn't die, Zhu Zhongqing wouldn't know any secrets. What the fake Empress wanted to do must have been flawless. Even if two cursed members of the Vermilion Bird Camp met, they wouldn't know each other's identities. Even a master-level disciple of the Vermilion Bird Camp has been cursed. It's not just the Vermilion Bird Camp. The other 4 prefectures are the same. How many of the disciples and upper echelon of Kirin province have been cursed by the Holy Spirit? The human race of the Great Lin Empire is truly in danger. Fortunately, teacher is here, giving me confidence. The Crown Prince's heart was in turmoil. Only after witnessing it with his own eyes did he know that what Jiang Chen had said back then wasn't just an alarmist. The empire was currently being corroded. If war broke out at this time, there would be internal and external troubles. The human race would most likely face a true crisis or even extinction. In the sky, Zhu Zhongqing's corpse slowly fell from the sky. Jiang Chen withdrew his dragon form and reverted to his human form. He stood in the sky in white, giving off a domineering aura. His black hair fluttered in the wind, making him seem like an emperor that had descended from the heavens. Countless gazes of admiration fell on Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen had become famous in a single battle, establishing his position in Kirin province. Even the master-level geniuses didn't have the glory Jiang Chen had, because Jiang Chen's cultivation was only at the heavenly source realm. He had killed a Star Lord with a cultivation of the heavenly source realm. In the entire Kirin province, or even the 4 prefectures and 1 battalion, there wasn't a second person like him. Amazing, this is too amazing. Other than amazing, I can't find any other words to describe Jiang Chen. He actually killed Zhu Chongqing. This has completely overturned my understanding. This reversal is simply too exciting. Who would have thought that a battle with no suspense at all would lead to such a huge reversal in the end? After this battle, Jiang Chen's fame will be completely established. Once he becomes a Star Lord and becomes a masterclass genius of Kirin Province, his brilliance will outshine all the other masterclass geniuses. Why does he need to become a master-level genius? The current Jiang Chen has already made all the geniuses in Kirin Province pale in comparison. Not to mention the normal master-level geniuses, even the Crown Prince, who was once the #1 genius in the Great Forest, was not as heaven-defying as Jiang Chen. Everyone was shocked. No one felt sorry for Zhu Chongqing's death because this was a life-and-death battle. There was nothing to feel sorry for being killed in a life-and-death battle. This was the most normal result. Moreover, Zhu Chongqing had turned into a demon in the end and left a very bad impression on the people. Once the matter of the Holy Spirit curse was spread, Zhu Chongqing would become a spy of the feather race. No one would pity him. Even if he died, he would be despised. Chief Mu, the battle is over. Goodbye. The Crown Prince saluted Mu Tianheng with his fists and left with Long Shersan. Many people saw that when the Crown Prince left, he had a smile on his face. It seemed that the Vermilion Bird Camp had lost a master-level genius, but he didn't feel any pain at all. Mu Tianheng bowed slightly in the direction of the Crown Prince. He couldn't help but show a trace of a smile on his face. As an old fox who had lived for so long, he could naturally see that the Crown Prince had come today for Jiang Chen and not for Zhu Chongqing. Reality proved that Jiang Chen did have the qualifications to be valued by the Crown Prince. Not just the Crown Prince from now on, as the chief, he would also have to value this disciple. As a disciple of Kirin Province, this person would definitely bring glory to Kirin Province in the future. Ebai, in 3 months, it will be the annual competition between the geniuses of the 4 battalions. This Jiang Chen can be trained well. Mu Tianheng looked at Mu Ebai and said, "Father, I understand." Mu Ebai smiled, but his heart was beating like a drum. Train Jiang Chen? What a joke. Even his father, Mu Tianheng, was probably only qualified to be trained by Jiang Chen, let alone his first Mississippi. This kind of Jiang Chen was the reincarnation of a great master. Did he still need to train Kirin Province? It would be more appropriate for him to train Kirin Province. Of course, Mu Ebai did not say much about Jiang Chen. If he caused Jiang Chen to be unhappy because of his big mouth, it would not be worth it. The duel came to a perfect end. The huge crowd in the central plaza also slowly receded and became quiet. Jiang Chen came to the Mu sisters and circled around them. Suddenly, he frowned. De Huang and Xiaolong are not back yet. Jiang Chen still did not see De Huang and Xiaolong. This gave him a bad feeling. Normally, there was nothing wrong with the two of them going to the minor cosm realm to train. However, Jiang Chen knew De Huang very well. De Huang knew that Jiang Chen was worried about him after his battle with Zhu Chongqing and would definitely come back to watch. However, until now, Jiang Chen still did not see De Huang dog. Moreover, having reached the level of a general, one would have comprehended the great Tao of heaven and earth. He had a feeling that they would not come for no reason. Big brother Jiang, didn't I tell you? De Huang and Xiaolong are training in the minor cosm realm. Mu Yizi said. As soon as Mu Yizi finished speaking, Jiang Chen's expression changed again. There was a strong fluctuation in his heart. De Huang and Xiaolong are in danger. De Huang is sending me a distress signal. Jiang Chen said. He had been with De Huang for too long. They had long developed an inexplicable telepathy. This telepathy was especially strong after they achieved Tao, especially when they were not far away. The minor cosm realm was attached to the imperial capital. It was naturally not far away. One could open the door to the minor cosm realm from Kirin Province. If De Huang dog sent a distress signal to Jiang Chen would definitely be able to sense it. What? Mu Yizi's mouth was slightly agape. She did not expect De Huang dog and Xiaolong to be in danger. Ebai, bring me to the minor cosm realm quickly. Jiang Chen looked at Mu Ebai. If Big Yellow hadn't encountered a real danger that he couldn't solve, he wouldn't have sent a distress signal to Jiang Chen. As the young mistress of Kirin Province, Mu Ebai's cultivation was strong. She would definitely be able to open the door to the minor cosm realm. All right. Mu Ebai did not dare to be negligent. This was the first time she had seen Jiang Chen so nervous. Even when he was surrounded by the feather tribe in the lapis glass sea, he did not panic. Mu Yibai knew that De Huang Dog and Xiaolong were the most important people by Jiang Chen's side. If something really happened to them, Jiang Chen would probably turn the imperial capital upside down. Chapter 45-55. Mu Yibai waved her hand and took out a spirit talisman. This was the door to the microcosm world. There weren't many people in the entire imperial capital who had this kind of talisman door, but Mu Yibai was definitely one of them. Be it cultivation or identity, she was destined to have everything she wanted in the empire. The talisman flickered with endless light, and an illusory door immediately appeared. The aura of an alternate dimension drifted out from the door. Let's go. With a sway of his body, Jiang Chen disappeared into the door in the blink of an eye. The microcosm world was dependent on the capital. It was the Great Lin Empire's own microcosm world, a place for the disciples to train. Under normal circumstances, only heavenly source disciples would enter. Very few Lord-level geniuses would enter. At this moment, in another part of the microcosm world, a mountain mist pervaded the air. At the center of the endless mountain range, De Huang Dog and Xiaolong were enveloped by an invisible force of air, like an inescapable net. Both Big Yellow and Xiaolong were at the 6th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. This kind of improvement was already very fast. Such a speed was something that ordinary cultivators could only look up to. However, even 6th heavenly layer heavenly source experts could do nothing against the force of a Star Lord. It was purely a force of energy, not a restriction or formation. If it were a formation, it would not have been able to stop De Huang Dog. There was no formation in the world that De Huang Dog was not proficient in. Let alone a Star Lord, De Huang Dog could even break through a formation cast down by a powerful Star Emperor without any effort. However, it was very difficult to break through a force of energy. There was no method to break through it, so one needed to rely on true strength. Outside the force was a hideous old man, his face filled with killing intent. The old man was none other than Elder Wu, who had tried to kill Jiang Chen in Kirin province a month ago. Wang Lin was his master. You old fart, this is the microcosm world, a place for disciples to train. You're just a Star Lord Elder, yet you've come here just to deal with us. Aren't you a little too shameless? De Huang Dog said angrily. The microcosm world was indeed a rare place to train. His and Xiaolong's cultivation had skyrocketed after entering, and they could basically move unhindered in the microcosm world with their current strength. Even if they encountered a 9th heavenly layer heavenly source expert, they would not fear them if they worked together. They might not be able to defeat them, but staying alive was not a problem at all. Yet, a Star Lord just had to appear at this moment, and a 2nd heavenly layer Star Lord at that. Shut up, damn dog. You killed my disciple, and I must avenge him. Too bad. You have the protection of the eldest and 2nd miss in the Qilin mansion, so I can't do anything to you. That Jiang Chen and Dragon Shursan have made me hate them to the core. Since I can't kill them, I'll find a way to kill you two first. I'll kill the most important people around them, and let them taste the feeling of losing something. Elder Wu said fiercely. He was not in a hurry to attack. After all, the two of them were like turtles in a jar. With his strength he could easily crush them. Old man, you make it sound so dignified. If I'm not wrong, you're a spy for the Feather Clan, right? Or perhaps, you've secretly joined the Feather Clan. De Huang Dog said. What did you say? Elder Wu's expression changed abruptly. The way he looked at De Huang Dog became even colder, and his killing intent became even stronger. It was as if his veil had been lifted, and his ugliness was completely revealed. Seeing his reaction, De Huang Dog was even more convinced of his thoughts. The fake empress was behind all this, and the capital had already fallen. Jiang Chen and the others had just entered Kirin province, and someone had already come to make trouble. Moreover, they knew that they were Second Lady's friends. He would never believe that they were not under someone else's orders. Wang Lin might not be a spy and was only listening to his teacher, but Elder Wu might not be the one giving the orders. Didn't I hit the nail on the head? Trash. De Huang Dog shook his big head and said, Damn dog, you are indeed smart. Unfortunately, you are smart in the wrong place. I'll kill you now. Elder Wu was angry. His eyes were filled with viciousness. He reached out his hand and grabbed De Huang Dog through the wall of qi. Little guy, get out of the way. De Huang Dog used his body to push Xiaolong away. A golden light appeared on his head, and he charged at Elder Wu's palm. Rumble. A powerful wave of qi spread out. De Huang Dog's indestructible head unexpectedly let out a cracking sound. His whole body was sent flying and smashed into a mountain behind him. Brother De Huang! Xiao Long roared and clenched his fists. He looked at De Huang Dog. De Huang Dog fell at the foot of the mountain. His head was covered in blood. After wriggling a few times, he completely stopped moving. Bastard! Xiao Long became irritated. He thought that De Huang Dog had been killed, which almost made him go berserk. Xiao Long entered a state of madness. His eyes turned blood red as an extremely powerful presence suddenly surged out from his body. Endless rage burned within him. Xiao Long's cultivation also began to move as his rage burned, reaching the 7th heavenly layer in an instant. This was not the end. Some kind of forbidden power seemed to be triggered in his body, causing his cultivation to rise once again. It only stopped when he reached the 8th heavenly layer. What a brat! I never thought that you would have such a rare constitution. If the patriarch saw it, he would definitely nurture you like a treasure. It's a pity that even though you've reached the 8th heavenly layer, you're still too weak. You're still an ant before me. Die for me. Elder Wu's face was filled with shock. The sudden change in Xiaolong was as if it had triggered some kind of ancient physique, shocking everyone present. However, the more it was like this, the more Elder Wu wanted to kill him. He could not allow him to grow. Although Xiaolong had advanced 2 levels, he was not Zhang Chen after all. He did not have the monstrous abilities of Zhang Chen, so it was basically impossible for him to fight against a 2nd heavenly layer Star-Lord with his cultivation of the 8th heavenly layer. Elder Wu struck out again. He used the same hand he had used against a Huang Dog before, swatting towards Xiaolong. Xiaolong was fearless. He no longer knew what fear was. All he knew was that Brother De Huang was dead, so he needed to avenge Brother De Huang. The terrifying fist carried a thick golden energy that originated from the ancient times, and violently shook Elder Wu's attack. You're just a mayfly trying to shake a tree. Chapter 45-56. Xiaolong felt as if all the bones in his body were about to fall apart. But at that moment, a warm current flowed through his body. Xiaolong's injuries were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Furthermore, he was back to normal in no time. This insane recovery speed was way stronger than Zhang Chen's. Brother De Huang, how are you feeling? Xiaolong laid on top of De Huang's body and shook it with all his might. But De Huang Dog did not make a single sound. This showed how much damage he had done to De Huang. Little bastard, how did you recover from your injuries so quickly? What kind of body type do you have? When Elder Wu came closer, he saw that Xiaolong's body, which should have been in tatters, had recovered to its original state. He was shocked beyond words. He had lived for so many years, but he had never seen anything like this. But Elder Wu was not an idiot. The only explanation he could think of was that this kid's body type was extraordinary. It could very well be a godly body that had been passed down from the ancient times. Elder Wu could not help but reveal a look of greed on his face. If I can extract your bloodline and use it on myself, wouldn't I be able to soar to the skies? What a blessing from the heavens! Elder Wu laughed out loud. He felt that his spring had arrived. A perfect bloodline was right in front of him. As long as he could kill this kid, extract his bloodline and use it on himself, he would be able to rule the world one day. Without the slightest bit of hesitation, Elder Wu struck once again. This time, he wanted to kill Lin Fan. Since this little fellow had such a strong regenerative ability, he would not give him any time or opportunity to recover. He wanted to kill Lin Fan directly. Roar! Just then, a furious dragon's roar could be heard. A blood-colored dragon's claw sliced through the sky and blocked Elder Wu's attack. Who? Elder Wu's expression changed as he shouted out. Grandpa, it's me. Robed as white as snow, Zhang Chen had a ferocious dragon above his head. He looked like a god of war who had descended. Big brother, Brother De Huang is about to die. Looking at Zhang Chen, Xiaolong cried out. He held onto De Huang's head with one hand and wiped his tears with the other. B*****. Looking at the lifeless De Huang Dog lying on the ground, Zhang Chen's anger soared. With no time to deal with Elder Wu, Zhang Chen appeared beside De Huang Dog with a flicker. Zhang Chen held onto De Huang Dog's head with one hand. The divine wood qi gushed into De Huang Dog's body like a tide, while he checked on De Huang Dog's condition. After checking, Zhang Chen became even angrier. Big Yellow had suffered an unprecedented injury. All his bones were broken, and his internal organs were badly damaged. His vitality had dropped to the lowest point. If it wasn't for Big Yellow's strong vitality, he would have been dead by now. Even if he wasn't dead, Jiang Chen's divine wood qi could only sustain De Huang Dog's last breath. It was obviously impossible for De Huang Dog to recover completely. Jiang Chen, haha. Great. I didn't expect you to come back alive from the Azure Sea. Great. Today, I'll kill you as well. Seeing that it was Jiang Chen, Elder Wu was shocked. Then, he was pleasantly surprised. Killing Jiang Chen would be a great merit for him. The higher-ups would definitely reward him handsomely, and he could also avenge his dead disciple. Elder Wu, I didn't expect you to do such a thing. Another cold voice sounded. Mu Yibai appeared. Seeing the situation, Mu Yibai was furious. She knew how important De Huang Dog was to Jiang Chen. Elder Wu killing De Huang Dog was equivalent to touching Jiang Chen's reverse scale. Jiang Chen was truly furious. Young miss. Elder Wu's expression changed. The arrival of the young miss made his heart sink. He might not care about others, but he couldn't ignore Mu Yibai. He didn't have the ability to kill Mu Yibai, and with Mu Yibai here, he couldn't kill anyone. Elder Wu, I've already told you about Wang Lin's matter. Punishing Jiang Chen and Long Shan to the Azure Sea will be the end of this matter. Yet, you secretly did such a despicable thing. You don't even put me in your eyes. Mu Yibai's anger couldn't be quelled. She couldn't give Jiang Chen an explanation for Elder Wu's actions. Young miss, do you think I'm an idiot? You went to the Azure Sea to train yourself and took those two brats with you. What kind of punishment is this? My disciple can't die for nothing. But since young miss is here, I'll give young miss some face and spare their lives. After Elder Wu finished speaking, he turned around to leave. He was a smart guy. He knew that he had no chance today. Staying here would be meaningless and he wouldn't be able to gain anything. Don't even think about leaving. Mu Yibai's body flashed and blocked in front of Elder Wu. His body was filled with killing intent. He had to kill Elder Wu today to reduce Jiang Chen's anger. For Jiang Chen, Kirin Province didn't matter much if they lost a small major elder. Young miss, are you going to kill me? Elder Wu's expression turned cold. He had already felt the change in Mu Yibai's cultivation level. The current Mu Yibai's cultivation level was higher than his. Adding on his talent, he was no match for him. Elder Wu broke the rules. I have to punish you. Mu Yibai said. Let me do it. Jiang Chen's cold voice echoed. He slowly stood up from the ground and arrived in front of Elder Wu. He signaled Mu Yibai to step down. Teacher. Mu Yibai frowned. Let me do it. Jiang Chen's tone was unquestionable. He had to avenge his brother with his own hands. De Huang Dog's condition had stabilized. He had to kill Elder Wu first to avenge De Huang, then find a way to save De Huang. Yes, teacher. Mu Yibai didn't dare to hesitate. He retreated to Xiao Long and De Huang Dog's side. What did she just call you? Elder Wu was stunned. He looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. Teacher? Mu Yibai actually called Jiang Chen teacher? He thought he had heard it wrong. Boom. The Sky Dragon sword appeared in his hand. Jiang Chen didn't bother to talk to Elder Wu. He immediately used Sword 26. What? Elder Wu's expression changed drastically. He didn't take Jiang Chen seriously at first, but Jiang Chen's attack had blinded him. A mere 8th heaven of the heavenly source realm made him, a 2nd heaven starlord, feel unprecedented pressure. That's right, it was pressure. This was too ridiculous. How could a heavenly source expert be so powerful? What was more terrifying was the sword. It was unparalleled and unparalleled. Elder Wu dared not underestimate Jiang Chen's attack. In an instant, a violent black blade appeared in his hand. He injected all his energy into the violent black blade and used it to defend against Jiang Chen's sword. Chapter 45-57. Clang. The sword and blade clashed. The mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. The void was reduced to nothingness. Although Elder Wu was at the 2nd heaven of the Starlord realm, he couldn't be compared to Zhu Chongqing. At most, he was equivalent to Zhu Chongqing before the Holy Spirit curse was activated. Jiang Chen didn't need to transform to kill him. The 26th sword was invincible. It wasn't something that Elder Wu could resist. Ah, with a cry, Elder Wu's blade flew out of his hand. Half of his arm was almost torn off. The powerful sword Qi from the heavenly dragon sword had left many wounds on Elder Wu's body, making him bleed profusely. No, it's impossible. How can you be so strong? Elder Wu's eyes were wide open as if he had seen the most unbelievable thing in the world. How could a heavenly source expert be so strong? This had completely overturned his understanding of the world. Of course, Elder Wu didn't know that Jiang Chen had just killed Zhu Chongqing of the Vermilion Bird Camp. If he had known, he probably wouldn't have taken the initiative to fight against Jiang Chen. He would have chosen to run away instead. Old dog, you hurt my brother. You'll pay with your life. Jiang Chen was furious. He swung the heavenly dragon sword in his hand again and slashed at Elder Wu. Kid, you can't kill me. Elder Wu was furious. A violent evil power instantly roared out of his body and gushed out of his body like a tide. Another Holy Spirit curse. In the distance, Mu Yibai's face turned cold when he saw the change in Elder Wu's aura. The aura that Elder Wu gave off was exactly the same as Zhu Chongqing's at the crucial moment. Elder Wu was also affected by the Holy Spirit curse of the Feather Race. Zhu Chongqing of the Vermilion Bird Camp and Elder Wu of Kirin Province. How many spies of the Feather Race were there in the capital? And these were just humans who had been corrupted. Die, you trash! Jiang Chen's sword 26 was already in front of Elder Wu, not giving him any chance at all. As a result, Elder Wu's curse of the Holy Spirit was only half opened, and the other half was not fully opened. Before his cultivation could be improved by the curse of the Holy Spirit, Elder Wu was killed by Jiang Chen with one sword move. He was cut in half and could not be more dead. After killing Elder Wu, Jiang Chen's anger subsided a little. He sheathed his sword and returned to the Huang Dog. Teacher, what exactly is this Holy Spirit curse? Mu Yibai could not help but ask. It's an evil secret skill of the soul, an ancient curse. It has both advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that this curse can forcibly increase a person's cultivation by one level after it is activated. The disadvantage is that the person who is cursed has to be completely controlled and obey orders. Otherwise, their lives will be in danger at any time. Zhu Chongqing and Elder Wu activated the Holy Spirit curse, which actually foretold their demise. Once the Holy Spirit curse is discovered, the person who cursed them will use the Holy Spirit curse to kill them and prevent them from revealing the secret. This is also the reason why I killed Zhu Chongqing. Jiang Chen said. What a terrifying secret skill. If that's the case, who knows how many people the fake empress has secretly used this Holy Spirit curse on. If many people were forced to do it, it would be a pity. Mu Yibai's mood was a little complicated. The Holy Spirit curse was too terrifying. Undoubtedly, the Holy Spirit curse had completely penetrated into the imperial capital. Who knew how many spies were hidden in the 4 prefectures and 1 camp? There's nothing to be pitiful about. There's another drawback to the Holy Ghost curse. It can't be forced on anyone. Everyone who suffers from the Holy Ghost curse is willing. If you're unwilling, no matter how capable the fake empress is, she can't force the Holy Ghost curse on you. Otherwise, the Holy Ghost curse alone would be enough to make the human race fall. Jiang Chen said. If such a terrifying secret skill could be used at will, it would be the end of the human race. Humph. If that's the case, those traitors are too despicable. Who knows how many people like Zhu Chongqing and Elder Wu are hiding in the imperial capital? Mu Yibai snorted coldly. His face was filled with worry. By the way, teacher, how are De Huang's injuries? Mu Yibai looked at De Huang Dog. He could only sense that De Huang's breath was extremely weak. He couldn't help but worry. If anything happened to De Huang Dog, Jiang Chen would probably really flip out. His foundation is injured, but I'll think of a way to help him recover. Jiang Chen said that with his means, as long as he didn't die, there would be room for negotiation. That's good. Mu Yibai heaved a sigh of relief. He was completely relieved. The two of them approached Xiaolong and De Huang Dog. Mu Yibai's eyes lit up when he saw Xiaolong. Xiaolong, how did your injuries recover so quickly? Mu Yibai was shocked. When Xiaolong fought Elder Wu head-on just now, he was severely injured as well. Although his injury wasn't as severe as Big Yellow's, it wasn't something that could be healed in an instant. However, judging from Xiaolong's condition, it seemed like he was completely fine. Xiaolong's physique is very special. His self-recovery ability is very strong. Much stronger than my divine wood chi.
I once saw with my own eyes that the scars left on his body healed in the blink of an eye.
Jiang Chen said. Could it be the legendary immortal body? Mu Yibai sighed.
Immortal body?
Jiang Chen was stunned. He knew many kinds of physiques, but it was the first time he heard of the immortal body. The legendary divine body is the pinnacle existence in the universe. I've only read about it in the most ancient books. However, this kind of physique is too ancient and has never appeared before. Therefore, it has always been a legend in the eternal world. However, with Xiaolong's abnormal self-recovery ability, I'm afraid there's no other physique other than the legendary immortal body. Mu Yibai said. Big brother, if I have the immortal body, then my blood is the immortal blood. Why don't you give my blood to brother De Huang? Maybe it'll work. Xiaolong said. The immortal blood. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. There was no doubt that Xiaolong's bloodline was extremely powerful. Just like what Mu Yibai had said, Xiaolong might very well possess the legendary immortal body, and the blood of immortals flowed within its body. If that was the case, Xiaolong's immortal blood might really have a miraculous effect. It was just like his divine wood chi. Not only could it heal his own injuries, it could also help others recover. Alright, let's give it a try. However, don't hurt your origin. Jiang Chen said. Don't worry, big brother. I know what I'm doing. De Huang dog was injured in order to save me. Not to mention some of Xiaolong's blood, Xiaolong wouldn't hesitate to take Xiaolong's life. Chapter 45-58. Xiaolong was a simple-minded person. To him, Jiang Chen and De Huang dog had long become the most important people in his life. They were his closest family. Now that De Huang dog's life was in danger, Xiaolong would be very happy if he could contribute his strength. Xiaolong used his fingers like a sword and made a cut on his wrist. Fresh blood gushed out from the cut and was sent to De Huang dog's mouth. When the immortal blood was dripped into De Huang dog's mouth, De Huang's life force became extremely vigorous. The surface of his body was covered with a layer of golden halo. Xiaolong was not stingy with his blood. He kept sending it to De Huang dog's mouth. Buzz! The golden halo on the surface of De Huang dog's body became more and more vigorous, directly forming a large golden cocoon. De Huang dog, who was in a deep sleep, slowly opened his eyes at this moment. Look, De Huang is awake. Mu Yibai exclaimed in surprise. What a powerful bloodline. The immortal blood is too abnormal. It can practically bring the dead back to life. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. Xiaolong's undying body was extremely domineering. As long as such a body didn't grow, as long as such a divine body didn't grow, it would definitely become an overlord in the future and dominate the world. That's enough. Xiaolong, stop. Jiang Chen said. Xiaolong had already given him a lot of blood. Even though it had an immortal body, it still couldn't sustain such a consumption. If it continued to consume more blood, it was highly likely that its origin would be damaged, and that would be a huge loss. All right. Xiaolong moved his arm away. Seeing that De Huang dog had woken up, the little guy's face was filled with joy. Looking at Xiaolong, the injury on his wrist was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Not even a scar was left. Such a godly operation was more than just abnormal. It was simply abnormal to the extreme. The legendary undying body is indeed domineering. Mu Yibai couldn't calm down. What kind of weirdos did his sister meet in the Hurricane Sky realm? Jiang Chen, Long San, De Huang dog, and now there was an immortal body. The matter of Xiaolong's immortal body must be kept a secret. Otherwise, it will bring disaster to Xiaolong. Jiang Chen said solemnly. Teacher, don't worry. I understand. Mu Yibai nodded. The undying body was a very important matter. Once it was spread out, it would definitely attract the attention of countless people. Countless greedy gazes landed on Xiaolong, because such a bloodline was too tempting. If someone could obtain Xiaolong's bloodline, they would immediately soar into the sky. Not being able to hide the secret of the immortal body would be disastrous for the little dragon. Damn it! De Huang dog opened his eyes and cursed. Where's that old fart? He almost killed me. De Huang dog, you're awake. That old fart was killed by Big Brother. Xiaolong said excitedly. It's too easy to just kill him. Damn it. De Huang dog's anger couldn't be appeased. Xiaolong, it's all thanks to you this time. This Lord Dog owes you a favor. De Huang dog raised his paw and patted Xiaolong's shoulder. He knew how he woke up the most, and he had heard everything about the undying body.
Therefore, when he looked at Xiaolong, his eyes were filled with shock.
De Huang dog, what are you talking about? We're brothers. There's no need to talk about favors. Xiaolong chuckled. Not bad. You're a smart kid. Lord Dog didn't dote on you in vain. De Huang dog's face was filled with gratification. De Huang, how do you feel? Jiang Chen asked worriedly. At this moment, De Huang dog was still extremely weak.
Although his life was no longer in danger, he still looked like an arrow at the end of its flight.
My soul has suffered heavy damage, and my origin is in a dead state. Even the undying blood couldn't awaken my origin. If I want to recover completely, I'll need other means. De Huang dog shook his head. Although his life was no longer in danger, he was not much different from a cripple. He didn't have much combat strength. If he wanted to recover completely, he would have to awaken his dormant origin, which was not an easy thing to do.
Then what should we do? Xiaolong put away the pleasant surprise on his face and became worried again.
I know a treasure that can help De Huang recover. Mu Yibai said. What is it? Jiang Chen and Xiaolong said in unison. Regeneration saliva. Mu Yibai said. I know this kind of treasure. It's a kind of essence qi that was born between heaven and earth and transformed into saliva. It's very rare, and I'm afraid it can only be born in a high-end world like the everlasting world, which is at the top of the universe. It has the miraculous effect of reviving the dead and regrowing bones, which is why it's called regeneration saliva. Yibai, you mentioned regeneration saliva. Do you know where to find this treasure? Jiang Chen looked at Mu Yibai. If he could really find regeneration saliva, not only could he completely recover De Huang, but he could also make De Huang undergo an unprecedented transformation. Yes, there is regeneration saliva in Imperial Spirit City. However, it's not an easy task to get it. Mu Yibai frowned. Where is Imperial Spirit City? Jiang Chen asked. A treasure like regeneration saliva was naturally not easy to get. Jiang Chen did not expect to get it easily and without paying any price. As long as regeneration saliva existed, it was a great opportunity for Jiang Chen and De Huang. For his brother, Jiang Chen would go through fire and water and do everything he could to get it. Imperial Spirit City is under the control of the elves, and the regeneration saliva is in the Imperial Spirit City Lord residence. However, the regeneration saliva is treasured by the Imperial Spirit City Lord. It's wishful thinking for outsiders to get their hands on it. More importantly, the Imperial Spirit City Lord is a big shot of the elves, and his cultivation is at the 7th heaven of Star-Lord. He's not someone we can deal with right now. Moreover, entering Imperial Spirit City is equivalent to entering the territory of the elves. You can imagine how dangerous it is. It's almost impossible to move an inch. Mu Yibai shook his head helplessly. Although he knew about the existence of regeneration saliva, it was almost impossible to get it. We still have to go, Xiaolong said with determination. We definitely have to go. Not to mention a mere Imperial Spirit City. Even if it's the lair of the elves, I'll still go. However, before we go, we have to make some preparations. Jiang Chen said. What preparations? Mu Yibai asked. The elves are against the human race, but they might not be against the demon race. Jiang Chen smiled. That's not the case. Demon beasts are a rather special race in the Crimson Afterglow Astral. Because there's no general name, they can't be considered a big race. Whether it's the human race, the feather race, or the elves, there are demon beasts, Mu Yibai said. That's right. That's it. I already have an idea. Chapter 45-59. Big Brother, don't keep us guessing. Tell us your plan. Xiaolong said urgently. I will hide the aura of the human race from my body and release the aura of the true dragon. That way, the people of Imperial Spirit City will think that I am a descendant of the Eternal Dragon Clan. Even the City Lord of Imperial Spirit City will not suspect a thing. Jiang Chen said. Master is right. The true dragon aura on you is very pure and rich. Moreover, the Cosmic Dragon Clan is high and mighty. They only exist in the highest level of the eternal world. There will be no Cosmic Dragon Clan in the small Crimson Afterglow Astral. If you appear as a rare Cosmic Dragon, the elves will not dare to slight you. Even the city lord of the spirit city will have to treat you as a guest of honor. It will be convenient for us to do things, Mu Ibai said. If someone else had said this, she would have scoffed at it. Hiding a human aura was not that easy. It was difficult to hide one's aura from a seventh heaven star lord. But when it came from Jiang Chen, Mu Ibai did not doubt it. In fact, she believed it without a doubt. She knew Jiang Chen's abilities all too well. It would not be an exaggeration to say that he was omnipotent. More importantly, Jiang Chen could use the dragon transformation. The powerful true dragon aura was enough to prove that he was a noble dragon. When a cosmic dragon appeared in the crimson afterglow astral, no one would dare to slight him. Although the cosmic dragon clan had fallen because they offended the Eternal Lord, a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. It was not something that a mere crimson afterglow astral could afford to offend. I want to go too. Xiaolong grabbed Jiang Chen's arm. You can't go. Ibai can't go either. I will have to do it myself. Jiang Chen patted Xiaolong's head. Xiaolong, your big brother can conceal his human aura and use the aura of a true dragon to conceal his aura, but we can't. We don't have the ability to alter the aura of our origin. Once we reach the Imperial Spirit City, forget about entering the Castellan Manor. I'm afraid we'll be killed by the experts of the fairy clan before we even reach the city gates. Mu Ibai said. Although she really wanted to help De Huang Dog find the regeneration saliva, she really couldn't do it. If she didn't do it right, it would be self-defeating. At that time, not only would she not be able to help Jiang Chen, she might even become a burden to Jiang Chen. All right. Xiaolong pursed his lips, disappointment written all over his face. However, Xiaolong knew very well that Jiang Chen and Mu Ibai were right. Other than Jiang Chen, no one else could make it to the Imperial Spirit City. If they followed to help, they would only be a burden. Teacher, when do you plan to leave? Mu Ibai said. There's no time to lose. We'll leave immediately. You and the Crown Prince can slowly investigate the matter of the spies in the Imperial capital. Jiang Chen said that in his heart, the safety of the entire Imperial capital was not as important as the recovery of his brother. Teacher, don't worry. We won't act recklessly. We'll wait for you to come back and take charge of the situation. However, you have to be careful on this trip to the Imperial Spirit City. After all, that's the territory of the fairy clan. Once you're exposed, it'll be extremely dangerous. Mu Ibai said. Little Chenzi, I'll go with you. De Huang Dog said. Yes, I originally planned to bring you with me. You can recuperate in the Dragon Palace. Once I get the regeneration saliva, I can give it to you immediately. Jiang Chen said that he had to bring De Huang Dog with him. Now that the imperial capital was not peaceful, Jiang Chen would feel more at ease with De Huang Dog by his side. Anyway, with the Buddha prison palace, he could protect De Huang Dog perfectly. Moreover, he was looking for the regeneration saliva for De Huang Dog. Once he got the regeneration saliva, he could give it to De Huang Dog immediately to avoid any accidents. Oh, there's one more thing. In 3 months, it'll be the annual competition of the 4 prefectures and 1 battalion. There will be good prizes. If you're interested, you can participate. Mu Ibai said. It'll be good to see the talents of the imperial capital. I'll be there on time. Jiang Chen said with a smile. He didn't care much about this kind of competition. If he ran into it, he would participate. If he didn't, he wouldn't regret it. After all, he had participated in too many competitions like this. Unless there was a particularly attractive prize, it would be hard for Jiang Chen to be interested. The most important thing now was to go to the Spirit City to look for the regeneration saliva. Mu Ibai opened the void door of the small heaven and earth and pointed the direction to the Spirit City for Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen let De Huang Dog enter the Dragon Palace. Then, he used some magical means to hide his human aura. What he revealed to the outside world was the revered true dragon aura, which was high and mighty. The Spirit City was one of the more important cities of the elves. It was not far from the Elven Mountains, the hinterland of the elves. For the first time, Jiang Chen transformed into a real dragon man and flew above the endless mountains. The Red Mid-region was vast and boundless. The 3 major races each occupied a region and fought ceaselessly. Hee, let's go straight to the elves' lair. Exciting. De Huang Dog chuckled in the Dragon Palace. Stupid dog, you still won't stop after becoming a cripple. Talk less. It takes energy to talk. You're a low-level trash now. Jiang Chen mocked.
How dare you mock Master Dog? Master Dog, what?
Bite me? I'll take a dump in your dragon palace.
You've won, Brother Dog.
Jiang Chen was defeated once again. Once again he understood a fact. Even if this dog became a cripple, he still had to submit to him. Who could stand the dog wanting to take a dump at the drop of a hat? Master, with your current strength, you can try to open the third level of the Dragon Palace.
At this moment, the Black King's voice suddenly sounded.
Yeah, let's try and see what's in the third level of the Buddha Prison Palace. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. If the Black King hadn't reminded him, he would have forgotten about this. If there were more Dao laws in the third level, the benefits would be endless. The Black King's cultivation could once again advance by leaps and bounds, and the Da Huang dog would also benefit greatly from the Dao laws. Jiang Chen's divine consciousness swayed and probed the third level of the Dragon Palace. With a loud bang, the third level of the Dragon Palace suddenly opened.
In the enclosed space, there were 6 Dao laws floating, and the profoundness of each Dao law was more profound than the previous second level.
It's still Dao laws. Naturally, Jiang Chen was happy, but he was also a little disappointed.
This was because the Dao laws were completely useless to him, but to others, they would benefit greatly.
Universal King-level Dao laws. Apart from containing supreme profoundness, there's also Dao law energy. It's very rare. Kid, if these Dao laws were to be circulated, it would definitely cause countless people to fight for them. Da Huang dog said. Unfortunately, they're useless to me. You guys can divide them. Black King, you take one, Da Huang, you take another, and the rest will be left for Xiaolong, Monkey, Crown Prince, and Ibai. Chapter 45-60. Thank you, Master. The Black King was extremely excited. He knelt before Jiang Chen and worshipped him. His cultivation was already at the peak of the third heavenly layer of Star Lord. He had already used up all the laws of Dao. Now that he had obtained a new law of Dao, the benefits were too great for the Black King. With this law of Dao, the Black King could reach the fourth heavenly layer of Star Lord in the blink of an eye. It would not be long before he reached the fifth heavenly layer. In fact, the Black Monarch's current cultivation was still recovering. He had once been a powerful Star Emperor at his peak. Now that he had Long-Foota's Dao Law, the Black Monarch's cultivation was recovering at least 10 times faster. Da Huang dog was temporarily in a dead state due to the damage to his origin. He could not circulate any energy, but he could slowly comprehend the law of Dao. Once he obtained the regeneration saliva and solved his problem, Da Huang dog would have a solid foundation and soar to the Star-Lord realm. When the third floor of the Dragon Palace was opened, Jiang Chen could sense the fourth floor, just like how he sensed the laws of Dao on the third floor. He felt that the fourth floor of the Dragon Palace would contain what he was truly looking forward to. The laws of Dao would no longer be useless to him. I'm currently at the 8th heavenly layer of the Heavenly Source Realm. If I want to open the 4th floor of the Dragon Palace, I'll probably need to become a Star Lord. Hopefully, I'll gain a lot from this trip to the Imperial Spirit City and increase my cultivation again. Jiang Chen thought and continued on his way. After crossing a mountain range, he had completely entered the territory of the elves. Jiang Chen also became more cautious. In the quiet mountain range, 3 gigantic waves suddenly exploded. After that, 3 fairies flew up from the ground and blocked Jiang Chen's path. The 3 elves seemed extremely cunning and had extraordinary cultivation. One was at the 9th heavenly source realm, while the other 2 were at the 8th heavenly source realm. They looked at Jiang Chen with malicious intent. What a strong demon chief. Who cares if it's strong or not? If you want to pass through here, you'll have to pay the toll. The 2 elves were conversing. Jiang Chen was speechless. Damn, he had run into robbers again. They were waiting to rob him. It seemed that it wasn't his bad luck. Everyone who passed through this mountain range would be robbed by these 3 elves. If you don't want to die, scram immediately. I don't have time to waste, Jiang Chen said in exasperation. He was bent on getting to the Spirit City and had no time to waste here. Oh, this kid is quite arrogant. What are you being arrogant for? This is our territory. If you want to pass through here, leave behind your treasures. That's right. A toll. Whether we pass or not, we have to pay a toll. Since we're here, we have to pay. The 3 of them spoke one after another, not taking Jiang Chen seriously at all. Let me tell you some bad news. Jiang Chen said. What news?
An elf asked innocently.
You've kicked an iron plate. Jiang Chen said. What do you mean?
The other elf blinked twice. Idiot, coming out to rob with that kind of intelligence.
Jiang Chen sneered. He didn't even move, but he arrived in front of one of the elves and slapped him across the face. Slap. A slap landed on an elf's face. The elf at the 8th heaven of the heavenly source realm did not even have the chance to react. His head was smashed by Jiang Chen's slap. He did not even have time to scream. What? The other two elves hurriedly exclaimed. They stared at Jiang Chen with wide eyes as if they had seen a ghost. They finally understood what Jiang Chen meant when he said that they had kicked an iron plate. This kind of strength was not something they could afford to provoke. Slap. Jiang Chen couldn't be bothered to waste his breath. He gave the elf another backhand slap. The 9th heavenly layer heavenly origin realm elf didn't stand a chance at all. He immediately followed in his companion's footsteps, or worse, his body smashed to pieces.
Spare me, my lord.
The third elf knelt down, trembling as he kowtowed repeatedly.
He did not have any of his previous arrogance.
What a joke. Even a 9th heaven of the heavenly source realm was slapped to death. How could he still be arrogant? How can you be a robber with this bit of courage? Useless. Jiang Chen shook his head. He walked over and stomped him to death, then continued on his way. That's too cruel. We're all the same. Be nicer. De Huang Dog could not help but say, at least torture them before killing them. Looks like they should be glad that they didn't fall into your brother dog's hands. Otherwise, they would have to experience a fate worse than death before they die. Jiang Chen was speechless. The three elves were really unlucky. They originally thought that their prey had come. After all, they were quite strong in a place like this. As long as they did not run into a tough opponent or a Star-Lord expert, they would not make any mistakes. Even if they made a mistake, they could at least rely on the environment and the elves' concealment methods to save their lives. Unfortunately, they got off to a bad start and ran into Jiang Chen, a truly unreasonable person and the ancestor of the world of robbers. In the end, they could only die a tragic death. With Jiang Chen's speed, it did not take him long to arrive at the Spirit City. The Spirit City was grand and extraordinary. A statue of an elf with wings was carved on the city gate. Outside the city gate, elves came and went everywhere. Just like the human cities, they had to pay a certain amount of origin stones to enter. Jiang Chen descended from the air, arrived before the city gate, and swaggered in. At this moment, a dozen or so powerful auras swept past in the sky, flying out of the Spirit City. The one at the front was a wealthy young master. His cultivation had already reached the 1st heaven of the Star-Lord realm. Such a level was considered a Star-Lord genius in the human race. A young Star-Lord was one of the best in the elves, so it was only natural that he was valued. Beside the wealthy young master were all Star-Lords. The most powerful old man was already at the peak of the 4th heaven of the Star-Lord realm. How enviable! Countless pairs of eyes looked up and landed on the wealthy young master. They could not hide the envy in their eyes. Brother, who is that person? Jiang Chen asked. You don't even know him. Are you new here? One person looked at Jiang Chen. My first time here. Jiang Chen chuckled. That is the young city lord of the Spirit City, Yu Kuan. Look at his extravagance. He has so many Star-Lord experts accompanying him when he goes out. How enviable. The person said enviously. The young city lord of the Spirit City? Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes slightly, and he immediately thought of something. Brother, how many young city lords are there in this Spirit City? Jiang Chen asked. How many? Only this one. He is the city lord's baby. He is usually kept in his mouth, afraid of melting, and in his hands, afraid of falling. Otherwise, how could he have so many Star-Lord experts accompanying him when he goes out? The person said. Chapter 4561. The look in Jiang Chen's eyes was filled with mischievous ideas. Kid, what evil ideas do you have now? De Huang Dog couldn't help but ask. How hard do you think it will be to get the rebirth saliva from the City Lord's mansion, even though we've come to the Imperial Spirit City? Jiang Chen asked with a smile. As hard as ascending to heaven. De Huang Dog didn't deny it. It was indeed as hard as ascending to heaven.
The city lord of the Imperial Spirit City regarded the rebirth saliva as a treasure and guarded it like his life. With his current strength, it was almost impossible for him to snatch the regeneration saliva from a seventh heaven star lord in the elves' territory.
Unless a miracle happened.
Then it's simple now.
Jiang Chen's smile grew wider. F***CK. You're targeting the young city lord. That's evil. I like it. De Huang Dog snickered. Working with Jiang Chen was always so happy. That's right. If the young city lord's life is in danger and needs the rebirth saliva, or even the rebirth saliva alone, I'll help him refine the rebirth saliva into elixirs. Then, everything will fall into place, and the rebirth saliva will be within my reach. Jiang Chen said. But you can't do it yourself, right? If you do, you'll be exposed. De Huang Dog asked. Of course I won't do it myself.
Black King, when will you become a fourth heaven star lord?
Jiang Chen asked.
Master, right away. The Black King's aura suddenly shook as he spoke. With the help of the Dao rules, it could be said that the Black King had a new opportunity, allowing the Black King to immediately break through to the fourth heaven star lord.
That's enough. Let's catch up.
Later, you kill everyone around Yukuan and leave a wisp of his divine soul to ensure that he doesn't die.
I'll take care of the rest. Jiang Chen arranged.
Okay. The Black King didn't disobey Jiang Chen's orders at all. He turned into a shadow and floated out of the Dragon Palace, silently chasing after Yukuan and the others. After the Black King left, Jiang Chen quietly followed him. He was about to enter the Imperial Spirit City, but he stopped as well. The Imperial Spirit City was not attractive to him at all. Jiang Chen had initially thought that he would at least need to find out more about the situation here after he arrived at the Spirit City, and then look for an opportunity to strike. He was afraid that it would take at least half a month if not 10 days, to thoroughly understand the Spirit City. Who would have thought that he would find an opportunity as soon as he reached the gates of the Spirit City? Furthermore, it was a heaven-sent opportunity, the best opportunity. Such an opportunity was hard to come by, even if he were to go out of his way to look for it. This was a deal that was delivered to his doorstep. With such an opportunity, why would Jiang Chen bother to understand the Imperial Spirit City? Whatever the Imperial Spirit City wanted to do had nothing to do with him. 1,000 miles away from the Spirit City, in the skies above a barren mountain range, a group of people who had been chatting and laughing suddenly stopped in their tracks. The smiles on their faces gradually disappeared as well. This was because in front of them was a dark-skinned man with a body like an iron tower. He was blocking their way with a murderous look on his face. The black man was none other than the Black King. Although he set off later, he was extremely fast, and he was one step ahead to stop them. The Black King's order was to kill these people and ignore everything else, so he didn't ask Yukuan and the others where they were going or what they were doing out of the Imperial Spirit City at this time. Not only did the Black King not care, but even Jiang Chen didn't care. After all, this was the elves' territory. He just wanted to get the regeneration saliva as soon as possible. Everything else didn't matter. Everything was centered on the ultimate goal. Get out of the way, don't block the way. A middle-aged elf at the first heaven of Star-Lord took a step forward and shouted at the Black King arrogantly. The Black King didn't move. He didn't even look at the elf. He was completely ignored. Seeing this, the elf couldn't take it anymore. Anger rippled from his body. What was this place? This was the Imperial Spirit City's territory, and there was someone who dared to block the young city lord's way. This was a death wish. I told you to get out of the way. Are you deaf? The elf roared. I thought about leaving you alive, the Black King said calmly. He crossed his arms in front of his chest, looking like an unparalleled god of death, and his eyes were shining. His words almost made the group of people's noses crooked in anger. Was this a robbery? This was clearly looking for trouble. Leaving me alive? How arrogant. Yukuan laughed immediately. This was the first time he heard someone speak to him like this. You're not an idiot, are you? Do you know who we are? How much courage do you have to block the way of the young city lord of the Imperial Spirit City? One person sneered, completely treating the Black King as an idiot. A bunch of idiots. The young city lord is nothing. I specialize in killing the young city lord. The Black King snorted, much more arrogant than the people in front of him. It was not that the Black King was pretending to be arrogant, but he had the right to be arrogant. Not to mention that he could completely crush them with his current level of cultivation, just based on his experience, These people in front of him were small fries compared to those who used to hang out with Longfutu in the eternal world.
Damn, I don't know where this idiot came from. He's just a tiger that has become a spirit, and he dares to come here and show off. Kill him. An elf could not take it anymore.
He took a step forward and appeared in front of the Black King in the blink of an eye.
His fierce fist tore through the void and smashed towards the Black King's face. Bang!
Ah! A shrill scream sounded.
The Black King did not see how, but the elf's head exploded. He died on the spot. It was a tragic scene. Whoosh! Seeing this, the expressions of Yukuin and the others changed drastically. One by one, they began to release their powerful aura, not concealing their killing intent at all. The nature of the situation had changed completely. The guy in front of them was no idiot at all. He was lying in ambush here to deliberately pick a fight. He came up and killed people even though he knew who they were. It was obvious that he was targeting them. Who are you? Don't you know that this is the young city lord of the Imperial Spirit City? You dare to pick a fight here? You're courting death. The level 4 Star Lord expert spoke. The more powerful one was, the more they could see how terrifying the Black King was. He was the strongest here, so he could naturally tell that the Black King was not easy to deal with. Therefore, he mentioned the name of the young city lord, hoping that the Black King would back off. I said, the one I want to kill is the young city lord. The Black King's face was still dark as he said coldly. Cut the crap. Kill him. No, leave him alive. I want to know who killed me. Yukuin Lang Lang said and gave the order. Yes, young master. Chapter 4562. My son suddenly has a fever of 38.6 degrees. I won't be updating for the rest of today. I'll update at 4 tomorrow. Sorry. Dragon marked God of War. Everyone, don't wait any longer. Currently typing. Please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 4563. Crack, crack. The Black King's fists flashed and his palms made cracking sounds. His fist, which was covered in black light, swept across. He took the initiative. Bang, bang, bang. Aw! Screams rang out as the Star Lords died one after another. None of the elite elves of the Spirit City were a match for the Black King. None of them could even take a punch from the Black King. All those below the third sky of the Star-Lord level were killed with one punch, without exception. In the blink of an eye, there was only 1/4 Sky Star-Lord left. That elite's expression changed drastically. He trembled as he looked at the tower-like Black King. He had already seen how strong the Black King was. Although they were at the same level of cultivation, the gap between them was self-evident. In other words, this elf couldn't do what the Black King was doing. Who exactly are you? The old elf asked in a trembling voice. The one who will kill you, the Black King said indifferently. He threw another punch and reached the old elf in the blink of an eye. The old elf roared and used all his strength to resist. With his special movement techniques of the elves and his fourth sky of the Star-Lord level, he could totally choose to run away at this moment. But the old elf couldn't run. If he did, Yukuin, the young city lord, would definitely die. Given Yukuin's first sky of the Star-Lord level, no matter how talented he was, there was no way he could escape from the Black Man. The gap between their strength was too huge. They weren't on the same level at all. Ah, the old elf also let out a blood-curdling scream. Half of his body was blown up by the Black King's punch. The old elf was terrified. He couldn't believe that there was such a fierce person. Before the old elf could do anything else, the Black King threw another punch at the old elf's head. The speed of this punch was too fast. Even if the old elf was at his peak, he wouldn't be able to block it, let alone the old elf who had a broken body. With the last scream, the old elf was also killed. The masters of the Spirit City, who had been extremely arrogant just a moment ago, were all killed in the blink of an eye. The air was filled with the stench of blood, and only the dumbfounded young city lord Yukuin was left. He was completely scared out of his wits. Shwa! The Black King moved like a ghost and arrived in front of Yukuin. A tremor ran through Yukuin as he recovered from his shock. Beads of sweat rolled down his face, and his face went pale. He was so scared that he had nowhere to hide. He wanted to flee, but the Black King's power was so intimidating that he couldn't even move. As the young city lord of the Imperial Spirit City, he had lived like a prince since he was a child. He had never seen anything like this before, and he was scared out of his wits. Don't kill me. You can have anything you want. My father will give it to you as long as you don't kill me. Yukuin begged for mercy, showing no signs of resistance. Resistance, my ass. Even a level 4 Star-Lord couldn't take a punch from this guy. How could he fight back with his small body? This guy could crush him to death with just a finger. The Black King was cold and emotionless. He completely ignored Yukuin's begging and slowly reached out his black hand to grab Yukuin's head. Don't kill him yet. At this moment, a voice sounded in the Black King's mind. It was Jiang Chen. Let him send a message to father. Jiang Chen said, Kid, send a message to your father and ask him to come here. The Black King said coldly. What? Yukuin was stunned. He didn't understand what Jiang Chen meant, and he suspected that he had misheard. Hurry up, or I'll kill you. The Black King threatened. Okay, I'll summon him now. Yukuin said the word okay twice in a row, but he was already cheering inside, as if he had found a life-saving straw. He was scared out of his wits just now and regretted not sending a message to his father. He didn't expect the black man in front of him to ask him to summon his father on his own. This was a golden opportunity. One should know that his father was a level 7 Star-Lord Supreme Expert. This black man couldn't deal with him at all. Logically speaking, this guy should be avoiding his father at all costs, so why did he want him to summon him? However, Yukuin couldn't care less. This was a good thing for him. As long as his father came, he would be completely saved. Yukuin was too confident in his father. He believed that as long as his father was here, the black man in front of him could only surrender, and his life would be saved. No matter what the other party's goal was, Yukuin had no other choice. Yukuin flipped his palm and took out a blue messenger talisman. He infused his divine sense into it, and the talisman exploded with a bang, turning into blue smoke and disappearing. I've already summoned my father. Can you spare me? Yukuin looked at the Black King. Sure. Really? Of course. The Black King's lips curled into a cold smile. He suddenly made his move, slapping Yukuin's chest with a bang, and his entire body caved in. Wah! Yukuin spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura began to weaken completely, and his eyes lost focus. Yukuin grabbed the Black King's clothes, his face full of unwillingness. I really didn't kill you. I gave you a chance to live. The Black King smiled, a cruel smile. According to Jiang Chen's instructions, the Black King's palm completely crippled Yukuin. The injuries Yukuin suffered were even worse than the De Huang dog who had absorbed the immortal blood. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels were all shattered, and his dantian was also shattered. His life force was almost cut off, and only a strand of his spirit was left hanging on to his last breath. However, if he wanted to recover, it would be extremely difficult. Even if he had the regeneration saliva, it would be far from enough. The Black King carried Yukuin's body and slowly let it fall from the sky. It landed in the mountains below, and then came to the side of Jiang Chen not far away. Master, how is it? The Black King chuckled. Black King, well done. The city lord of the Imperial Spirit City will be here soon. Quickly go into the Dragon Palace and hide. Jiang Chen patted the Black King on the shoulder. The Black King had done what he wanted to do. Next, it was Jiang Chen's turn to perform. Okay. The Black King responded and flashed into the Dragon Palace. The Buddha Prison Palace was a treasure left behind by the universe level. Hidden inside, even a powerful Star Emperor would not be able to detect the slightest bit of aura, let alone the city lord of the Imperial Spirit City, who was a 7th Heaven Star Lord. In the distance, several powerful auras appeared at the same time, flying in this direction. The city lord of the Imperial Spirit City is here. A smile appeared on the corner of Jiang Chen's mouth, and he quickly completely concealed his aura, temporarily hiding. This place was only 1,000 miles away from the Imperial Spirit City. For a Star-Lord expert, it was only a blink of an eye. Chapter 4564. City Lord, there's such a strong smell of blood. A Star-Lord at the 5th sky said. City Lord, look over there. It's the young master. Another said. The eyes of the Star-Lords fell on a body lying in the mountains. Although the body was covered in blood, they could still recognize that it was Yu Kuan. My son. The city lord of Imperial Spirit City, Yu Chonglu, shouted and flew to Yu Kuan's side. Yu Zhonglu lifted Yu Kuan up with a single hand. With a wave of his divine sense, he had already examined Yu Kuan's injuries clearly. The more he examined, the more sorrowful Yu Zhonglu's expression became. The hand that was holding his son was trembling violently. Who did this? Yu Chonglu roared like a wild beast, shaking the heavens and earth. All the demonic beasts in the mountains were startled and fled in all directions. City Lord, everyone else is dead. No one is alive. The person who did this is so ruthless. It's at least a level 5 Star Lord, maybe even a level 6 Star Lord. Every attack was instant kill. Even the young master's level 4 follower couldn't send out a distress signal in time. Our city lord didn't offend anyone. Who is it that has such deep hatred for him that they would do such a thing? The few experts were filled with grief and indignation. After inspecting the battlefield with their strength, they could almost imagine the situation of the battle and how tragic it was. Yu Chonglu, will definitely take revenge. Yu Chonglu's eyes were bloodshot, filled with hatred. City Lord, how are the young master's injuries? Someone asked. It's over. It's all over. His meridians are all broken, his internal organs are all shattered, and his dantian is shattered. Only his spiritual soul is still alive. He's not dead yet. Yu Chonglu said gloomily. The experts looked at each other and remained silent. They didn't dare to speak. City Lord, can he be saved? I don't know if the rebirth saliva can save the young master. Someone probed in a low voice. We have to try. He's my only son. Although the rebirth saliva is precious, it's not even worth half of my son's hair. Yu Chonglu said. He loved his son too much. For the sake of his son, not to mention the precious regenerative saliva, he would even sacrifice half of his life without hesitation. At this moment, a figure leisurely streaked across the sky. Catch him. When Yu Chonglu saw that figure, he immediately shouted. Anyone who appeared here at this time was worthy of suspicion. Swish swish. Including Yu Zhonglu, everyone soared into the sky and blocked that figure. That figure was none other than Jiang Chen. Why are you blocking the way? Jiang Chen said indifferently, without the slightest hint of fear on his face. Kid, who are you? Did you kill our young lord? A Star Lord asked. Young master? What young master? Jiang Chen blinked twice, his face full of ignorance. All right, he didn't kill him. He's only at the 8th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Yu Chonglu said in annoyance. Although he was furious, he had not lost his rationality. He would not believe that the 8th heavenly source guy killed his son and so many Star Lords. I'm just passing by. Jiang Chen shrugged. Kill him. Yu Chonglu said Lung Lung. Why kill me? Jiang Chen's eyes widened. You came at the wrong time. I'm not in a good mood. You should be buried with my son. Yu Chonglu said matter-of-factly. Asterisk roar. Asterisk as soon as Yu Chonglu finished speaking, Jiang Chen roared and turned into a blood-red dragon, swaying back and forth in the void. This is? A true dragon? Oh my god, it's a true dragon. What a powerful true dragon chi. Could he be from the Universe Dragon Clan? Impossible. The Universe Dragon Clan exists in the highest level of the eternal world. They're above the major star fields. How could they appear in the tiny crimson afterglow star boundary? That's hard to say. This is clearly a true dragon. A universe dragon. It's very likely that he's from the dragon clan of the crimson afterglow star boundary. Looking at Jiang Chen's transformation, including Imperial Heavy Tower, everyone was stunned. The supreme cosmic dragon, even the elf race didn't dare show any disrespect to him. I don't care what the fairy clan does in the crimson afterglow star boundary, but the universe dragon clan is not someone you can afford to offend. If you want to kill me, think about it carefully. Jiang Chen's voice was muffled, but his words were extremely intimidating. That's right. Although the tiny fairy clan was tyrannical in the crimson afterglow star boundary, they were on a completely different level compared to the powerful universe dragon clan. Since you're a friend of the universe dragon clan, it's my turn to greet you. Yu Chonglu's tone changed instantly. He didn't dare to provoke the cosmic dragon race. Regardless of whether it was true or false,
or whether the cosmic dragon race really existed in the crimson afterglow star boundary, the thing in front of him was a dragon.
Roar! Jiang Chen let out another dragon roar and turned into a human. You're the city lord of the Imperial Spirit City? Jiang Chen looked at Yu Chonglu. That's right. Yu Chonglu said. I see that your son's injuries are not light. Can I take a look? Jiang Chen's gaze shifted to Yu Kuan, and he began his real performance. Sure. Yu Chonglu said. He was not at all afraid that Jiang Chen would do anything improper. He did not care about his opponent's cultivation. Even if he was a universe dragon, there was a huge gap between their cultivation levels. Most importantly, Yu Chonglu was at his wit's end regarding his son's injuries. The regenerative saliva was his greatest reliance, but that was all. He had no confidence in saving Yu Kuan. Since the one in front of him was a universe dragon, he might be able to give him some substantial advice. The universe dragon was a supreme race that existed only in legends. They might have inherited many secret techniques. Jiang Chen grabbed Yu Kuan's wrist, and after a quick examination, he could not help but sigh. What a pity, what a pity. The young city lord is so young. I'm afraid that even with my alchemy skills and my true dragon chi, I will not be able to save him. Jiang Chen shook his head, turned around and left slowly. Alchemy skills? When Yu Chonglu heard about alchemy skills and the true dragon chi, his gloomy eyes immediately lit up. Sir, please wait. Yu Chonglu quickly caught up. City Lord, I'm unable to help your son's injuries. Jiang Chen said. Sir, are you an alchemist? Yu Chonglu asked expectantly. Due to the physical limitations of the elves, there had never been an alchemist. Hence, alchemy had always been the most precious thing to the elves. Of course. Actually, it's not impossible to cure your son. I know of a regenerative good fortune pill that has the effect of bringing the dead back to life. With the addition of my true dragon chi, even the dead can be brought back to life. Unfortunately, if you want to refine the regenerative good fortune pill, you need a rare medicinal ingredient. Without this medicinal ingredient, even the gods can't save your son. Chapter 45-65. Hearing that, Yu Chonglu felt that there was hope. Having hope was better than having no hope at all. In order to save his son, he was willing to do anything, no matter how difficult it was to obtain. He would do everything he could to obtain the herb. Although the City clan did not have any alchemists, they had a lot of herbs in their storage. Most of the time, the City clan would use herbs to heal their wounds and increase their cultivation. The herb that I am talking about is born from heaven and earth. It has the essence of heaven and earth. It is called the regeneration saliva. As long as I have the regeneration saliva, I can refine the regeneration good fortune pill. Together with my true dragon chi, not only can I save your son, but I can also transform him into a peerless genius. Jiang Chen was full of boasting. As a matter of fact, Jiang Chen had coincidentally appeared here, coincidentally said that he knew how to concoct pills, and precisely said the name of the regeneration saliva. This could be considered as a flaw that would inevitably arouse suspicion. However, Jiang Chen was not afraid at all, because he knew how complicated Yu Chonglu's heart was. He would never let go of any chance to save his son's life. Moreover, Yu Chonglu was not afraid of him. In Yu Chonglu's eyes, he was just a small shrimp in the heavenly source realm. Once he reached the spirit city, he would not be able to do anything. Everything was under his control, and he did not have to worry about Jiang Chen's evil intentions. That's great, that's great, that's really great. Yu Chonglu was excited. His mood had undergone a complete change. He was originally at his wit's end, but suddenly, there was a glimmer of hope. What's great? Could it be that the city lord can find the legendary regeneration saliva? Jiang Chen sneered. Ha ha ha, to be honest, I might not have other precious herbs, but I happen to have a drop of regeneration saliva. Yu Chonglu laughed loudly, his face filled with pride. Oh, there really is regeneration saliva? Jiang Chen purposely revealed a look of disbelief. Of course, Yu Chonglu said. Regeneration saliva is a rare treasure. The city lord is actually willing to take it out. It shows the deep affection between father and son. Jiang Chen chuckled. Young master must be joking. Although the saliva of rebirth is precious, my son's life is even more precious. I beg for young master to lend me a hand and save my son. I will never forget your kindness and will definitely repay you. Imperial Lord cupped his fists towards Jiang Chen. City Lord, you don't have to be so polite. You don't owe me anything, and I won't help you for nothing. If you want me to help your son refine the regeneration good fortune pill, I have conditions. The corner of Jiang Chen's mouth began to reveal a trace of a smile. If he didn't take advantage of this opportunity to extort a large sum of money, wouldn't it be a waste of his effort? What are your conditions? Please state them, young master. Yu Chonglu said. I want origin stones, grade 5 origin stones. Jiang Chen said that he had almost used up all the source stones he had. At most, he could only support him until he reached the Star Lord level. After he became a Star Lord, he would have to worry about source stones. Now that the rich man in front of him was in front of him, how could he not slaughter him? Okay, that's not a problem. The thing that we elves lack the least is source stones. Tell me, how much does young master want? Hearing that the other party only wanted source stones, Imperial Lord instantly let out a sigh of relief. He was afraid that the other party would ask for something that he couldn't afford. 10 million. Jiang Chen stretched out a finger and shook it in front of Imperial Lord. What? Whether it was Imperial Tower or the surrounding Star Lords, all of them cried out in shock and looked at Jiang Chen with malicious eyes. 10 million, this is daylight robbery. Isn't this a little too much? Damn, 10 million, that's grade 5 origin stones. Only Star Lords use source stones, and he asked for 10 million. I've never seen so many grade 5 origin stones even after I reached the 5th heaven of Star Lord. Angry, everyone was extremely angry. 10 million grade 5 origin stones. This was indeed a bit too much, too much. Source stones were something that every cultivator couldn't live without, no matter if it was the human race, feather race, or the elf race. Under normal circumstances, a Star Lord would be lucky to have enough grade 5 origin stones for his own cultivation. 10 million, even a 7th heaven Star Lord couldn't afford it. Only a big shot like Imperial Lord could afford it. After all, he was a city lord and had a lot of wealth. Little brother, 10 million grade 5 origin stones. Isn't it a bit too much? Imperial Lord looked a bit displeased. Too much? City Lord, in order to save your son, you are even willing to use the regenerative saliva, let alone some source stones. City Lord, please think about it. If it's okay, I will immediately refine the regenerative good fortune pill for your son. If you don't agree, I still have things to do, so I won't disturb you any longer. However, I have to give you a friendly reminder. Your son's injuries won't last long. Jiang Chen said slowly. Little Chenzi, so sinister, I like it. Inside the Dragon Palace, De Huang Dog laughed loudly. He really liked Jiang Chen's way of doing things. Hee hee, the Black King also laughed, feeling more and more admiration for this new master. Jiang Chen turned around and was about to leave, but he was once again stopped by Imperial Tower. All right, I agree. 10 million it is then. City Lord, you are straightforward. Jiang Chen laughed. 10 million. I agree. But don't play any tricks. If you can't save my son, even if you are from the universe dragon race, I won't be polite. Imperial Lord threatened. Naturally. Jiang Chen nodded slightly. How should I address little brother? Imperial Lord asked. I am Long Chen. Jiang Chen used the Long character as his surname and the Chen character as his first name. All right, Brother Long, come with me to the city. Imperial Lord gestured to Jiang Chen. City Lord, please lead the way. Jiang Chen said. The group majestically walked into the Spirit City. Master really has a good plan. I admire you. Inside the Dragon Palace, the Black King admired Jiang Chen's plan from the bottom of his heart. He had only seen Yu Kuan's group walk out of the Spirit City, and he had already thought of such a profound plan. It was practically flawless. First he made a move, then Imperial Lord appeared, and then Jiang Chen appeared. With Jiang Chen's heavenly source cultivation base, Imperial Lord had no doubt that his son's death had something to do with Jiang Chen. After all, they weren't even on the same level. No one would believe that Jiang Chen could kill so many Star Lords. Then Jiang Chen revealed his identity as a member of the Universe Dragon Race, intimidating the other party so that they didn't dare look down on him. Then he used his identity as an alchemist to lure out the regeneration good fortune pill and the regeneration saliva. Everything went according to plan. Then he demanded the astronomical price of 10 million grade 5 origin stones for revenge, extorting and blackmailing. This kind of scheme was completely ruthless. Chapter 4566. Imperial Spirit City, City Lord Residence. Imperial Tower took out his peerless treasure, regeneration saliva. A drop of regeneration saliva was worthless, and there was no market for it at all. It could not be bought no matter how much money one had. Just like at this moment, Imperial Tower's hand was trembling as he held the jade bottle of regeneration saliva. His heart was bleeding. Brother Long, this is regeneration saliva. Imperial Tower carefully handed the regeneration saliva to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen took it, unable to hide his excitement. Before coming, Jiang Chen did not think that it would be so easy to get the regeneration saliva, to the point that the owner would take the initiative to give it to him. City Lord, aside from the regeneration saliva, I need 99 other medicinal ingredients. Jiang Chen listed out some medicinal ingredients and asked Imperial Tower to prepare them. One had to admit that the Imperial Spirit City was truly rich and overbearing. Although the elf race did not have any alchemists, the amount of medicinal ingredients stored here was not small. Imperial Chong Lu took out all of the 99 medicinal ingredients that Jiang Chen had listed. Brother Long, the medicinal ingredients you want are all here. Can you start refining the regeneration pill? Imperial Tower said anxiously. I can start refining the pill at any time. But City Lord, why don't you give me the origin stone first? Anyway, I'm in the City Lord's mansion now, so you don't have to worry about me taking the origin stone and leaving, but I'm different. For the sake of safety, I have to get the origin stone first before I can be at ease. If the regeneration good fortune pill is successfully refined, and the City Lord goes back on his word, who can I cry to? Jiang Chen said in an indifferent tone. Kid, you want the source stone before refining the pill. Isn't that too much? A Star Lord expert could not help but yell. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak so loudly to me? Jiang Chen's aura fluctuated as he glared at the Star Lord. What did you say? The Star Lord was instantly enraged. He was a 6th heavenly layer Star Lord, one of the strongest existences in the Spirit City. Even Yu Chong Lu had to give him some face. There had never been anyone who dared to speak to him in such a manner, not to mention a heavenly source expert. How could he possibly accept this? Who do you think you are? What? You don't look convinced. I can save the young master's life. What can you do? Jiang Chen did not give him any face at all. You, the Star Lord expert, was furious. He wanted nothing more than to slap Jiang Chen to death, but he had to swallow his anger because Jiang Chen was right. He could save Yu Kuan's life, but he couldn't. This was what Jiang Chen was relying on. Also, don't look at how arrogant the other party was and how he didn't put him in his eyes. However, there was nothing he could do. If he were to slap the other party to death, Imperial Heavy Tower would probably slap him to death as well. All right, stop arguing. I'm going to prepare the origin stones. Imperial Lord Lang Lang said. Right now, he also had the impulse to slap Jiang Chen to death, but for his son, he had to endure, who asked the situation to be more powerful than him. Kid, you'd better save the young master. Otherwise, I guarantee that you won't be able to walk out of the Imperial Spirit City, even if you're from the Universe Dragon Clan. The level 6 Star Lord expert said through gritted teeth. Old man, I know you want to eat me right now, but I like to see you hate me but can't get rid of me. If I were you, I would obediently shut my mouth right now. Don't seek humiliation, because even if I ruthlessly humiliate you, you can't do anything to me. Jiang Chen sneered, still not giving him any face. The old elf was so angry that he gritted his teeth. The energy outside his body surged, and his eyes were full of killing intent, but he still shut his mouth tactfully. He had to admit that Jiang Chen's words were very reasonable. Even if he gritted his teeth, he didn't dare to do anything to Jiang Chen, so he might as well shut his mouth. Otherwise, he would only be asking for humiliation. Not long after, Imperial Heavy Tower returned, took out a universe ring, and handed it to Jiang Chen. Brother Long, here are 10 million origin stones of the 5th grade. Imperial Heavy Tower's heart was bleeding, but he still had to smile. The City Lord's heart was bitter. City Lord is straightforward. Next, please prepare a sealed room for me. I will need 3 days to concoct the regeneration good fortune pill. Jiang Chen said. That long? Imperial Heavy Tower was startled. City Lord, do you think alchemy is a simple matter? What's more, it's a miraculous elixir like the regeneration good fortune pill. If it was someone else, it would take at least half a month. 3 days is already very fast. You don't have to worry about your son's injuries. At least his soul won't be destroyed within 3 days. Jiang Chen said. All right, immediately prepare a room for Brother Long. Yu Chonglu didn't doubt him. Although he didn't know how to refine pills, he knew how difficult it was. The higher the grade of the pill, the harder it would be to refine, and the longer it would take to refine it. Furthermore, this was the City Lord's mansion, and there was an inescapable net all around. Imperial Heavy Tower wasn't afraid of Jiang Chen playing any tricks here. Playing tricks here was no different from courting death. Within a secluded room in the City Lord's mansion, Jiang Chen was overjoyed. Little fellow, hurry up and give me the regeneration saliva. De Huang Dog's voice rang out from within the Dragon Palace. Eat my ass. I need to refine pills. Jiang Chen was annoyed. Fuck. Could it be that the regeneration good fortune pill you mentioned is real? Is there really such a pill? De Huang Dog asked. Of course there is. Do you think I'm joking? But I've never seen the regeneration saliva before, so I didn't care too much about it. After Mu Yibai told me about it, I found the regeneration good fortune pill. I wasn't exaggerating when I said its effects were real. Since I have it, I naturally have to refine it. Once I refine the regeneration good fortune pill, you will truly be reborn. Its effects will be at least 10 times better than just consuming the regeneration saliva. Your cultivation base will probably directly break through to the Star Lord realm. Jiang Chen said. Damn it, it sounds so exciting, but why do you need 3 days? Isn't alchemy a piece of cake for you? De Huang Dog wagged his tail excitedly. 3 days is to buy you some time to recover. Once you've recovered, we can make a scene in this Imperial Spirit City. Wouldn't that be fun? Jiang Chen chuckled. You're getting more and more devious. You've truly inherited my teachings. De Huang Dog was very satisfied with Jiang Chen's way of doing things. Jiang Chen unleashed a violent flame and began to refine the regeneration good fortune pill. Outside the room. City Lord, this kid won't be playing any tricks, will he? Someone asked. If he dares to play any tricks, I'll make sure he dies without a burial place. 10 million 5th grade origin stones. Damn, my heart hurts. Chapter 45-67. City Lord, do you think we can recruit this little fellow? After all, he's from the Universe Dragon race, and he's also a powerful alchemist. If he could join us, it would be like adding wings to a tiger, said one of the elves. Yu Chonglu's eyes brightened. Yu Chonglu's eyes brightened. This old elf was correct. What the elves lacked the most were alchemists. Whether or not Long Chen was from the Universe Dragon race wasn't important. After all, the Universe Dragon race had practically never existed in the Crimson Cloud Star realm. But an alchemist was different, especially one who could refine a divine pill like the regeneration good fortune pill. They definitely weren't easy to deal with. Being able to refine the regeneration good fortune pill meant that the majority of medicinal pills wouldn't be difficult for them. If Yu Chonglu had an alchemist as his subordinate, the benefits would be unimaginable. But very quickly, Imperial Hightower's eyes dimmed down, suppressing this ridiculous thought. Impossible. This person is arrogant because he's from the Universe Dragon race. He saved my son, but he's also negotiating conditions that touch my bottom line. There's no way I can use such a person. Yu Zhonglu shook his head. Although he desired to become an alchemist, he wasn't an idiot. He didn't lose his mind. He believed that he was a good judge of character. A man like Jiang Chen would never join his side. City Lord, you're right. Such a person won't submit. Even if he stays, he won't be loyal to us. Although he's an alchemist, it's not like we can make the City Lord listen to him. One person snorted, extremely dissatisfied with Jiang Chen. City Lord, in my opinion, once Long Chen refines the regeneration good fortune pill to save young master, we should directly kill him and take back those 10 million grade 5 origin stones. So what if he's from the Universe Dragon race? This is the Crimson Cloud Star realm, not the peak of the eternal world. He's probably just a remnant race that popped out for some unknown reason. If we kill him, We'll do it silently. Do you think the universe dragon race will be able to find trouble here? That's right. Furthermore, rumor has it that the dragon race has offended the Eternal Lord. They're not having a good time now. When his subordinate said this, Imperial Hightower's expression also began to darken. His eyes were filled with undisguised killing intent and coldness. He was already brooding over the 10 million Grade 5 origin stones, and now that he had been provoked by his subordinates, his desire to kill became even stronger. Imperial Chong Lu didn't reply, but the look in his eyes proved his determination. Inside the room, Jiang Chen had a clear view of everything. He'd heard every word of the conversation outside. You want to take drastic measures, but unfortunately, you ran into me. Jiang Chen sneered. Initially, he planned to wait for De Huang to recover his cultivation and then leave after causing a scene. But since this imperial heavy building wanted to target him, then Jiang Chen would not be polite. In any case, there were still 3 months before the grand competition of the 4 prefectures and 1 battalions. Jiang Chen had plenty of time to play with them. Boom! Raging flames began to sweep out, covering the entire room. The flames formed a large net. Within the large net were layers of restrictive spells, sealing and concealing everything in the room. With Jiang Chen's restrictions, even a 7th Heaven Stage Starlord like Imperial Hightower wouldn't be able to see through the flame net. Yu Zhonglu wasn't surprised by Jiang Chen's action. After all alchemists were prideful, and there were some alchemists who didn't like being watched by others when they were concocting pills. They had their own techniques and secrets. So Imperial Hightower didn't suspect anything. He just waited outside. Jiang Chen took out some regeneration saliva and some medicinal ingredients for the regeneration good fortune pill. He tossed them into the sea of flames. Thinking about it, Jiang Chen hadn't refined a Dan for a long time. However, for an expert of his level, even if he hadn't refined a Dan for 100 years, it would still be easy for him to refine a Dan again. In less than a quarter of an hour, the regeneration good fortune pill was completed. A fragrant pill that contained endless life energy shot out from the sea of fire. It floated in the room as if it had a mind of its own. The powerful life aura made people feel refreshed and indescribably comfortable. Wakaka, it's time to eat. De Huang Dog laughed excitedly. He jumped out of the dragon palace, opened his bloody mouth, and swallowed the regeneration good fortune pill. Damn you, I didn't even get the chance to look at it. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes. This was his first time concocting the regenerative fortune pill, and it was also his first time seeing it. He wanted to take a good look at the quality of the pill, but who would have thought that this dog would be so impatient and eat it right away? It's just a Dan. What's there to look at? Look at me. De Huang Dog was narcissistic. I'm going to vomit on your face. Jiang Chen kicked the dog's fat butt. This guy was getting more and more narcissistic. Boom. The overbearing medicinal energy inside De Huang Dog's body started to wreak havoc. De Huang Dog's limbs and bones made De Huang Dog want to roar out loud. Luckily, Jiang Chen set up a powerful barrier that isolated everything in the room. Otherwise, De Huang Dog's actions would have been discovered by Imperial Hightower and the others. Imperial Hightower was still waiting for the regeneration good fortune pill to save his son. He didn't know that the regeneration good fortune pill had become someone else's food. If Imperial Hightower knew that his son's injuries were caused by Jiang Chen, he would probably vomit blood on the spot until there was no more blood left to vomit. After killing his own son, he still had to treat him as an honored guest and give him 10 million 5th-grade source stones for nothing. Imperial Hightower had never suffered such a loss in half his life. Inside the room, De Huang's divine soul started to wake up quickly. His aura was rising continuously. In almost an instant, De Huang Dog recovered to his previous peak state. This was a freak like De Huang Dog. If it was someone else, even if they had a divine medicine like the regeneration good fortune pill, they wouldn't be able to recover so quickly. No one dared to swallow the regeneration good fortune pill like De Huang Dog did. After all, with his current body condition, it was hard for him to withstand the violent impact of the regeneration good fortune pill. If he was not careful, his body would explode and he would die. After recovering to his peak state, De Huang Dog's body changed once again. It was like he had been reborn. His cultivation began to skyrocket. 6th heavenly layer, 7th heavenly layer, 8th heavenly layer. In just an hour, Big Yellow had broken through to the 8th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. This was not the end. Jiang Chen could not help but nod inwardly when he saw this.
De Huang Dog's foundation is robust and powerful. The regeneration good fortune pill has allowed him to undergo endless changes. This time, he'll probably reach Star-Lord. Chapter 4568. In the following time, Jiang Chen closed his eyes to rest, choosing to go into seclusion to stabilize his cultivation. De Huang Dog was immersed in the pleasure of breaking through to the next realm, while the Black King also cultivated diligently after obtaining the laws. According to Jiang Chen's estimates, De Huang Dog's cultivation would reach the first heavenly layer of Star-Lord in 3 days, while the Black King's cultivation would reach the 5th heavenly layer. It should not be a problem for him to reach the peak of the 8th heavenly layer of Heavenly Source. With their strength, they could completely wreak havoc in the Spirit City. Jiang Chen had nothing to do anyway. There were still 3 months until the competition between the 4 battalions and 4 battalions. Jiang Chen needed to train and raise his cultivation, and the Spirit City was a very good place to do so. This was because Jiang Chen had discovered that the Spirit City was rich in resources. Just the City Lord's estate alone contained countless herbs. Spirit herbs and origin stones. Jiang Chen needed them all. The more the merrier. He didn't reject anything. The Imperial Spirit City was a large city of the elf race. The fact that Imperial Chonglu had taken out 10 million 5th-grade origin stones in the blink of an eye was enough to prove the wealth of the Imperial Spirit City. This time, Jiang Chen wouldn't stop until he'd made a killing. 2 days passed very quickly. Outside the room, Yu Chonglu paced back and forth, his face filled with anticipation and worry. His son was about to die, and he needed the regeneration pill to save his life. Yu Chonglu couldn't help but worry. If Jiang Chen failed to concoct the regenerative good fortune pill, everything would go to waste. At that point of time, even if he killed Jiang Chen, it would be useless, as he would never be able to save his son. After all, Yu Chonglu could not take out a second drop of regeneration saliva. In the room, De Huang Dog's cultivation had already reached the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of Heavenly Source, and he was at the critical juncture of breaking through to the Star-Lord realm. In addition to the great benefits and impact that the regenerative good fortune pill brought to De Huang Dog, the Tao laws left behind by Long Futu were also of great help to De Huang Dog. In this way, it would no longer be difficult for De Huang Dog to break through to Star-Lord. In fact, it might even be a piece of cake. At the same time, the imperial capital of Great Forest, within Vermilion Bird Camp. This was Lin Tianlin's second residence in the imperial capital, and it was as luxurious as the Crown Prince's palace. At this moment, there were only the Crown Prince and Long Shan in the Grand Hall. 13. What do you think? Have you found anything in the past 2 days? The Crown Prince asked. My eyes of fire and gold cannot see through the cursed humans of the Holy Spirit, but I can see through the disguised winged race and elves. In these 2 days, there have already been 5 people who could not hide from my eyes of fire and gold. 2 winged race spies, 1 elven race spy, and all of them are elders of Vermilion Bird Camp. Long Shan said. Hearing this, the Crown Prince clenched his fists tightly, making cracking sounds. His eyes darkened. In just 2 days, we found 5 spies from other races. And that's not counting those who are cursed. How many spies from other races are there in Vermilion Bird Camp? The Crown Prince could not hide his anger. This is just Vermilion Bird Camp, and I only found them in the past 2 days. I think the situation in the other 4 constabularies will not be much better than Vermilion Bird Camp. And the fake empress is in the palace. Who knows how many spies there are in the royal family? They are plotting something big. They want to hollow out the human race. Long Shan also sighed. You are right. The human race is about to be corrupted. The winged race and the elven race are setting up a big plan, a shocking conspiracy. The human race is in danger. Once the hidden danger erupts, the imperial capital will become a wasteland and a past. The Crown Prince wasn't a fool, and he knew how serious the situation was. Someone who was once so friendly to you turned out to be a foreign spy who could take your life at any time. The entire imperial capital was in danger, and this was simply too terrifying. The winged race and the elven race had not truly attacked the human race. This meant that their big plan had not reached its climax yet. The Crown Prince had to use this time to think of a way to reverse the situation and prevent the most dangerous situation from happening. Lin Tianlin had to stop her, not just for the sake of the human race, but for the sake of his dead mother. His mother's death had filled him with remorse, and if he couldn't kill the fake empress to avenge his mother,
Then what was the point of living? Starting now, we need to quickly kill these spies and weaken the power of the fake empress, the Crown Prince said. The Crown Prince said, "What does your highness plan to do?" Long Shersan's interest was immediately piqued. He had come to Vermilion Bird Camp to help find the spies. Now that the spies had been found, if there was no big movement, it would be meaningless to find the spies. Long Shersan would also feel that there was no meaning in staying here at all. 13. Go and summon the 5 elders. Remember to summon them secretly. Don't let anyone else see. I want to kill them. I want to do it quietly and without anyone noticing. In the future, if I find one, I'll kill one. The Crown Prince said with a cold expression. All right. Long Shersan's figure flickered and disappeared. Night fell. Under Long Shersan's summons, the 5 elders of Vermilion Bird Camp all came to the Crown Prince. The news that Long Shersan had become the Crown Prince's trusted aide had spread throughout the entire Vermilion Bird Camp. Thus, the 5 elders did not suspect anything. Adding on that the Crown Prince was the person in charge of Vermilion Bird Camp, it was normal for him to summon them. Boom! The door to the main hall was slammed shut. The 5 elders looked at each other and sensed that a powerful seal had been placed around the main hall. A bad premonition instantly surged into their hearts. Before they came, Long Shersan did not say that the Crown Prince had summoned so many elders at once. Thus, no one thought that they had exposed themselves. After all, they had hidden themselves too well. But now, they saw that there was more than one person who had come in, and some of them were familiar with each other. How could there be so many coincidences? The Crown Prince just had to summon spies from other races. 5 elders. 1 Star Lord of the 4th Heaven, 2 Star Lords of the 3rd Heaven, and 2 Star Lords of the 2nd Heaven. This kind of combat power would be astounding in the outside world. Your Highness, what did you summon us for? The elder at the 4th Heaven of the Star Lord realm asked with a friendly smile as usual. To kill you, the Crown Prince said indifferently. He did not hide what he was going to do next. Boom! As soon as he said that, 5 powerful presences were released from their bodies. Their expressions changed. They were not idiots. When the Crown Prince said that, they knew that they had been exposed. Your Highness must be joking. We are all loyal to Vermilion Bird Camp and have made great contributions to Vermilion Bird Camp. Why would your Highness kill us? Someone said. At this time, what's the use of saying such useless nonsense? Chapter 45-69. A muffled grunt rang out, and before the elder could even react, the Crown Prince smashed his head into pieces. Blue blood flowed on the ground. Blue was the symbol of the elf clan. Laozi's face darkened, and his eyes were filled with coldness and disgust. At the same time, he thought to himself that Long Shersan's fiery eyes of truth were really powerful. He could even see through the spies of the elf tribe and the feather tribe. Your Highness, what are you doing? The 4th Heaven Star Lord Elder's expression changed drastically. He had already guessed that the Crown Prince might have seen through his identity, but he still had a sliver of hope, so he had no choice but to continue his disguise. Because the elder knew very well that the Crown Prince in front of him was no longer the Crown Prince of the past. He had regained his former glory and was a 5th Heaven Star Lord. He was no match for him at all. Once his identity was completely exposed, he would die. Not just him. Even a 6th-level Star Lord was no match for the Crown Prince. Unfortunately, at this point in time, such a disguise was meaningless. The Crown Prince had already seen through their identities. From the moment he summoned them, he had already taken the initiative to decide their fates. The Crown Prince didn't say anything. He grabbed the neck of the other person. The 3rd sky of Star-Lord was like a chick in the Crown Prince's grip. He couldn't break free no matter how hard he tried. Asterisk roar. Asterisk the elder roared, and 6 wings appeared on his back, flashing as he tried to break free from the Crown Prince's grasp. 6-winged Featherman. My Vermilion Bird Camp really has so many feather race and elves mixed in. To think that I trusted you so much before. The Crown Prince's gaze and tone grew even colder. These were all people he was familiar with, people he respected, and people he trusted. If not for the fact that the truth was right in front of him, the Crown Prince would never have believed that they were Harpy spies. Hearing about it was one thing and personally seeing it was another. Now that he personally saw it, the Crown Prince truly understood the danger the great forest human race was in. The true danger was right in front of him. Boom, Violent air currents gushed out from the crown princess' palm. The area above the six-winged feathered man's neck exploded, and he died tragically on the spot. Whoosh! At the same time, the other three elders also returned to their original appearances. Two of them were six-winged feathered people, and one was an old elf. The three of them panicked. At a time like this, there was no longer any point in putting on an act. They joined forces and struck out a shocking power toward the crown princess. They then wanted to tear open space with their bare hands and escape. Unfortunately, the space in the room had already been sealed by the crown prince. In addition, the space here was relatively small. Whether it was the winged race's speed with their wings or the elven race's movement techniques, they were all useless. In front of the crown prince, the other races were absolutely suppressed. The crown prince's voice. The crown prince's aura was majestic. A battle sword appeared in his hand, and he swung it left and right. With 3 strikes, 3 screams rang out as the 3 Star-Lord spies were killed on the spot. This was a fundamental difference. They weren't fighting on the same level at all. The crown prince could kill them as easily as killing a few ants. Looking at the corpses on the ground and the pungent stench of blood in the room, the crown prince's expression darkened. These people are all Star-Lords, and every one of them is an elder. Even though they aren't a threat to me, I don't know how many spies there are in the dark. Once the danger erupts, the entire capital will descend into chaos. Every Star-Lord will cause irreversible damage. I don't know how many humans in the Great Forest will die in their hands. The crown prince said. More importantly, we are completely defenseless against these people. They are hidden beside us. Once the danger erupts, many people will be killed by them without warning. Long Xueqi said. Trust was the truly terrifying thing. Trust would cause one to be defenseless. To give a simple example, the 5 elders just now were all highly respected in Vermilion Bird Camp. If they wanted to kill any elder or genius disciple of Vermilion Bird Camp, it would be a piece of cake because the other party would not be on their guard. When one was completely unguarded and even treated them as an enemy of one's close friends, that was the truly terrifying thing. This was a demon hidden by one's side, and a casual bite from it would be fatal. I'll take care of these corpses. 13. Remain calm and continue to dig for foreign spies in Vermilion Bird Camp. Each of these people is a cancer. We don't have much time. We need to get rid of them as soon as possible. The crown prince said. All right. Long Xueqi nodded. He knew that Jiang Chen had made a promise to the dead Empress Lin. Jiang Chen would definitely help the crown prince avenge Empress Lin. Therefore, Long Xueqi would do his best to help the crown prince eliminate the foreign spies. The final result of this war would be the human race's victory. They would become the true masters of the Crimson Afterglow Astral. A day later, in the Spirit City Lord's residence. In the room, De Huang Dog had successfully broken through to the Star-Lord realm, while Jiang Chen had reached the peak of the 8th heavenly layer of the Heavenly Source realm. He was only a step away from the 9th heavenly layer, and only needed a simple opportunity to reach the 9th heavenly layer. The Black King was still the most powerful. The Black King had reached the peak of the 5th heavenly layer of the Star-Lord realm. With the Black King's current strength, even 6th heavenly layer Star-Lords were no match for him. In the entire Spirit City, no one was a match for the Black King other than the City Lord, Yu Chonglu. The Black King alone could sweep through everything. More importantly, there were already hundreds of Star-Lord demons in the Dragon Palace, as well as countless high-level Heavenly Source demons. Once the demons were released, the entire Spirit City would be plunged into misery and suffering, causing unimaginable damage to the city. Little Chenzi, I'm very powerful now. I'll kill anyone who dares to come. De Huang Dog boasted. Don't be arrogant. Let's have some fun with the Spirit City. We'll leave after we destroy a city of the demons. A sinister smile curled at the corner of Jiang Chen's lips. He was confident that he could destroy the Spirit City with his current strength. There were still 3 months until the 4 prefectures and 1 battalion grand competition. This was the perfect time to have some fun with the Spirit City. Moreover, with such a long period of time, the Black King would have no problem breaking through to the 6th heavenly layer of the Star-Lord realm. By then, even Yu Chonglu would be killed, and the city would be doomed. Since the demons and the feather race wanted to destroy the human race, Jiang Chen would strike first and destroy a city of the demons. The thought of it was exhilarating. Outside the room. It's been 3 days. Why hasn't the kid come out yet? A Star-Lord frowned. Creak.
Chapter 45-70. Brother Long, seeing Jiang Chen walk out, Yu Chonglu's face was filled with joy as he hurried to greet him. Sorry for the wait, City Lord. Jiang Chen smiled. How is it, Brother Long? Did you successfully concoct the rebirth pill? Yu Chonglu asked impatiently. Of course, please have a look, City Lord. Jiang Chen flipped his palm and a fragrant pill appeared in his palm. It rolled back and forth, clear and transparent as if it was about to come to life. Everyone's eyes landed on the pill. Including Yu Zhonglu, everyone's face was filled with joy, and their eyes were shining brightly. Good pill. Yu Chonglu praised, unable to hide his excitement. Hearing this, Jiang Chen tried his best not to laugh, but the Huang dog in the Dragon Palace couldn't. Wakaka, good pill. This Lord Dog is going to die from laughter. If this fella finds out that this is a deadly poison, he will definitely go berserk and kill you. The Huang dog was laughing so hard that he was rocking back and forth. Jiang Chen's face was expressionless. Given his skill, no one would be able to tell that he had modified the color of the poison, let alone these elves who didn't know the art of alchemy. None of them had the eyesight to see through his pill. City Lord, the rebirth pill has to be consumed as soon as possible. Any delay will affect the efficacy of the pill. Jiang Chen said. All right, I understand. Yu Chonglu wouldn't waste any time. He had been worried sick for the past 3 days, pacing back and forth outside Jiang Chen's room without a moment of rest. A group of people rushed to Yu Kuan's residence. At this moment, Yu Kuan was still in a deep coma. Even if he wasn't dead, he was no different from a dead man. Of course, he wasn't dead yet, but he was going to die soon. Even the Eternal Lord wouldn't be able to save him after consuming this rebirth heart-piercing pill. Yu Chonglu held the pill and lifted his son up with one hand before carefully placing it into Yu Kuan's mouth. Right now, Yu Kuan was completely unconscious. Even when the pills were sent to his mouth, he wouldn't eat them. He needed Yu Chonglu to channel energy into his body. Just as he was about to transfer his energy, Yu Chonglu suddenly stopped. He frowned and turned to look at Jiang Chen. Just when Jiang Chen thought that Yu Chonglu had discovered something, Yu Chonglu opened his mouth and said, Brother Long, this regeneration good fortune pill's medicinal energy is too strong. My son is unconscious right now. Can he withstand the medicinal energy? Jiang Chen sneered in his heart. Although this old guy didn't know alchemy, he still knew a lot. Don't worry, as long as the effect of the regeneration good fortune pill is regeneration, it will only save people and not hurt them. City Lord, you just need to feed it. I guarantee that your son will have an instant reaction. Jiang Chen said confidently. All right, I'm relieved to hear that, Brother Long. Yu Chonglu had a relaxed look on his face as he placed the pill into Yu Kuan's mouth. Under the stimulation of a gentle energy, the pill completely entered Yu Kuan's body. Boom! A wave of black energy surged out of Yu Kuan's body, bringing with it an intense stench. In the next moment, Yu Kuan, who had been like a corpse, suddenly began to move. Yu Kuan's body shuddered and twitched intensely. Then black blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. His legs collapsed, and he no longer had any signs of life. Fuck! Yu Chonglu was dumbfounded. Inside he cursed. Fuck, what happened to the rebirth? Why did it seem like he couldn't be any more dead? Brother Long, what's going on? Yu Zhonglu looked at Jiang Chen with a panicked expression. What the hell are you doing? It's definitely something. Why is the regeneration good fortune pill like poison? A group of Star Lords surrounded Jiang Chen. Waves of overbearing qi shrouded Jiang Chen. City Lord, I'm doing this for your son's sake. In his current state, even if he survives, he'll be in a state worse than death. I'm helping him escape. You should be thanking me. Jiang Chen grandly said. It seemed that even if he killed someone, they should be thanking him. Bastard, what did you say? You gave my son poison? Yu Chonglu was infuriated. His heart was crumbling. He had spent a huge price to invite a Yama King, and he had personally seen his son die in front of him. No, it should be more accurate to say that he had died to his own hands. After all, he had personally fed him the poison. To be more accurate, it's the life-seizing heart-piercing pill. It's the king of poisons, the king of poisons. Once consumed, you'll definitely die. Not even a god can save you. I helped your son escape from this world's suffering. If you want to thank me, then give me another 10 million grade 5 origin stones.
Jiang Chen's shamelessness had reached its peak. Within the Dragon Palace, the Black King was covering his face, while the Huang dog was rolling on the ground laughing. He praised Jiang Chen for having his own style, and what he had done was very gratifying. I have no enmity with you, so why did you harm my son? Yu Zhonglu's eyes were about to split open, and his red eyeballs were about to pop out. Look at you. Even if you eat me, it won't be enough. Since you want to know the reason, I'll tell you. I came here for the regenerative saliva. Unfortunately, the city lord views the regenerative saliva as much as his own life. I knew that I wouldn't have the chance to make you hand over the regenerative saliva, so I had no choice but to target Yu Kuan. Jiang Chen laughed mischievously. Then you're saying that my son's injuries were intentional? Demanded Yu Zhonglu viciously. Smart. Jiang Chen nodded. I'll tear you apart. Yu Zhonglu had completely exploded. He felt like he was going to die from anger. He had nowhere to vent his anger. His powerful qi locked onto Jiang Chen. The cultivation base of a 7th heavenly layer Star Lord was not to be trifled with. Carrying a destructive force, Yu Zhonglu's hand grabbed toward Jiang Chen's head. With this grab, the entire world seemed to have fallen into a cage, making it impossible for anyone to escape. The entire space in the room seemed to have been locked. Yu Zhonglu didn't unleash his true killing technique. Obviously, he didn't want Jiang Chen to die so easily. He hated this bastard in front of him to the core, and he had to torture him bit by bit, torture him to death slowly. As expected, he's powerful. Jiang Chen's eyes shone. A 7th heaven stage Star Lord's cultivation base was truly extraordinary. If he hadn't had a backup plan, he would definitely have died to Yu Zhonglu. However, Jiang Chen wasn't afraid at all. There wasn't the slightest hint of panic on his face. Swish! Right when Yu Zhonglu's hand was about to grab onto Jiang Chen suddenly disappeared without a trace. Not a single trace of his aura was left behind, as if he had never appeared. Where is he? Imperial Zhonglu shouted with a stern expression. His eyes looked like they could devour someone. He searched every corner of the room, but he couldn't find Jiang Chen. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.